Okay, so is it, do you see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay, then.
Yes.
Okay, then.
Yeah. We'll meet you by around 2 o'clock, sir. Another 10-15 minutes, we'll meet, sir.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, sir. Meet you by around 2 o'clock, sir. Another 10-15 minutes, we'll meet, sir.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Bauza joined us.
Yes, yes, we have tasted with.
Wow, can we get to see you on the camera? Can we have the privilege to see you on the camera, Mr. Khalil Bauza? Hello.
You have to unmute yourself, sir.
I am to unmute, Shantanu
No,
sir.
Khalil Bauza ji, Khalil Bauza.
Sir, Khalil sir, let's see if he can unmute himself. He is on the camera, I think so. Oh yes, the Mr. Spain, the Mr. Invisible Spain is visible now. Wow, wow, wow. And what a wonderful name. You have changed your name, sir. I can notice. Can you unmute yourself? I would love to converse with you. Maria Del Vocta. Ah, wow, wow. Unmute. Khalil sir, unmute first. Khalil sir, unmute yourself. Khalil sir, unmute yourself, please. Shantanu sir, can you make me the co-host, please? At
Okay, that is good.
At Mentorex office ID, please. Sorry,
Okay.
at Mentorex headquarters. At Mentorex headquarters. Today I'm at the headquarters. Mentorex headquarters, please make the co-host. Yes, perfect. Now let's. Yes. So Khalil sir is unmuted now. Wow. Before I ask you anything, I want to know what is this Maria Del Vocta?
Maria is my wife. She.
Oh, okay. Wonderful, wonderful. So you are keeping her first.
Yes.
No. You are the one who's keeping that saying true that every successful man has a woman behind him. So
He does everything. That is correct.
Maria behind him. Wow, wow, wow.
That is correct. He does everything.
So can we have the privilege to meet Maria ma'am as well?
Maria is not here. She's out.
Oh, no problem. So first of all, wow, we have Mr. Khalil Bauza all the way from Spain. And we are blessed that Mr. Kumaran Mani from 10th planet. I had heard about 8 planets, so then 9 planets, then it came back to 8 again. Now the 10th planet is, wow, Mr. Khalil Bauza and Kumaran Mani. Wow, wow, wow. What a name and what an innovation, what a creativity. So as Mr. Khalil Bauza, he's 58, though he doesn't look like, he looks like 38 or 40. Wow,
yes.
That's another wonderful thing. So we are blessed that Mr. Khalil Bauza has joined us all the way from Spain, and he's here with us to share his thought process. He's a wonderful man, as we can see from his white beard, that he carries decades of experience behind him. Decades of experience, expertise, intellect, and today that is what he is going to share with us. So, first of all, namaste from India, Khalil sir. We are blessed that you are with us and you are sparing your precious time and you have joined us. And thank you for being at the platform of MentorX. Today, we are doing this confluence of technologies whereby we are discussing artificial intelligence, augmented reality, virtual reality, cryptocurrency, IoT, blockchain, cybersecurity, quantum mechanics, and humanoids, nanotechnology, biotechnology. And you are one of the eminent parts. And this confluence of technology is happening at Seshasdripuram First Grade College, Newtown, Yelahanka, Bangalore. It's a 90-year-old institute. I'm soon going to connect you with a visionary Dr. Shantanu Das as well. So we together are doing it with MentorX. I'm the founding president of MentorX, and we have our co-founder, Dr. Nancy Juneja from MentorX. MentorX has been co-founded with a vision to educate, to empower, to elevate. Right now, we're in 32 countries, touching lives of 2 million people directly. Since the pandemic, since the lockdown happened, we have done more than 300 plus summits on varied topics to people around the globe in each and every sphere, people from each and every walk of life, regardless of their demographics, regardless of their age. We are serving people right from the age of 4 to whether it's youth, teenage, women, entrepreneurs, corporates, CEOs, CTOs, doctors, ambassadors, diplomats, ministries. So many things are happening and we are available 24/7 around the globe. And we are glad that we have our center of excellence with Seshasdripuram First Grade College in Seshasdripuram Educational Trust, Yelahanka, Newtown, Bangalore. It's a 90-year-old institute and now they are celebrating their 90 years. And you know what they're doing? It's a third summit in a row. under the visionary leadership of Dr. Shantanu Das that is happening. And there is much more to it. I will pass on to Dr. Shantanu Das to elaborate what the legacy of Seshasdripuram Group, and along with, please welcome wholeheartedly Mr. Khalil Bauza.
Thank you very much for intro.
My pleasure, sir.
Thank you. So as both Dr. Munishji and Dr. Khalil Bauza is present here, so we welcome wholeheartedly for the post-lunch session, the first session after the lunch, wholeheartedly Mr. Khalil Bauza from Spain. So we, Seshasdripuram Educational Trust, a 90-year-old institution established in 1930, welcome you wholeheartedly along with Seshasdripuram First Grade College, North Bangalore Science Forum, Mentor X Global, Hover Robotics, Hoverboats India, Indian Institute of Science Alumni Association, Karnataka Science and Technology Academy, Research Foundation of India, New Delhi. All our collaborators, we welcome you wholeheartedly. And before you could start your technical talk, it won't be fair from my part if I don't introduce you to our delegates. So Khalil Bauza is from Spain. He is a consultant and 10th Planet Technologies Advisory Board member. What has in common or optimizing an e-commerce checkout process, designing a physical retail store, launching an online fitness program for pregnant moms, or redefining a hospitality property acquisition process. Not much, except that they all started with overwhelmed SME owners tired of running on today's technology hamster wheel, and Khalil Bauza. Khalil Bauza is a 58-year-old consultant who works overwhelmed SME owners stop chasing the latest technology buzzword so that they can focus 100% of their limited time and energy on describing their business challenges before rushing into implementing solutions. And then, if it is really necessary, he helps them to embed coherent and resilient technologies to support their decisions. His entrepreneur experiences, especially his big business failures, shaped his true dialogue first approach using the principles from design thinking, TOC, TQM, Zemba, and systematics by John Gall. As a 10th Planet Technologies Advisory Board member, he now helps the company develop a business feedback agent so its clients can navigate through this digital emergency that the recent COVID-19 lockdown revealed to us so brutally. So over to you, Mr. Khalil Bauza. Wholeheartedly, we welcome you.
Wow, wow, wow. What a wonderful. The platform, the podium is yours, Mr. Khalil Bauza. Let's hear from you.
Okay, thank you first. Thank you very much to all of you, Dr. Munish, Dr. Shantanu, and all your team and Mentor X. And I'm very honored, just to repeat your words, on the same way, but on the reverse, to be part of your summit and be part of this community, at least for a few minutes and maybe a few hours and maybe more days. It has been a tremendous honor to accept the talk. Kumaran Mani, the founder of 10th Planet, pushed me to just start. And before I go through the talk, I would like to thank you one more time, because that concept that we now have coined as digital emergency has been coined for that talk especially. So now accepting the talk for Mentor X help us to shape our thoughts and come up with a more polished concept, which we call digital emergency. So from this, I think then from now on, I think I can start the talk. The talk has 4 parts. And at the end of the talk, I would like to have some feedback of yours and of the community. So let's just go and start with the digital emergency.
Is sir here? Khalil sir is here?
I think he got
Logged out, is it?
yes.
No problem, he will come back. Wow. So audience, here you are enjoying today the confluence of technologies. Did you ever hear this? Confluence of technologies? Isn't it a wonderful idea? Wow. So the man, the Shantanu Das, Dr. Shantanu Das, he's the man, the legacy, the empire he's creating with all his humbleness and gratitude. We have always heard confluence of people, confluence of places, confluence of rivers. Oh, so here we did it with his vision, confluence of technologies. And why we're talking technologies where we are shifting towards. There is always a paradigm shift in life as well. As the pandemic, when we say there is a paradigm shift, there's a paradigm shift in the life or education. Same way, life also shifts gradually. 3, 4, 5. I won't talk technical jargons. I'm just saying that life is also changing. There is a paradigm shift. We are already dependent on technology big time. Today, we have a survival without food. We don't have a survival without internet, even for a minute. So same as in the upcoming times, we won't be able to survive without technologies, even for a second. And sooner we accept the fact, sooner we accept the technologies, better it would be. And how better it would be when we're talking about confluence of technologies, it's artificial intelligence. That is where I specialize in. I'm the pioneer of e-mobility in India. We are the ones who brought hoverboards. Let me have a chance in the meanwhile, Mr. Khalil joins. What we do. This is what we do. This is what we make. And I can turn it on for you. Any part of the wherever you want. You just stand on it, think to go forward, it moves with your thinking. That is what we say. We are hula hoop, whatever you talk about, endless possibilities. So we are the pioneers of e-mobility in India. We brought mobility robots, Autobots in India. And we are number one in India, and we are among top passion in for yourself. Each one of you, you hold a universe within you, and you can make anything happen. Anything happen. A very short and quick exercise. This comfort zone, space after I. See, I'm making you trouble. You just wrote impossible. Now I'm troubling you, making you travel out of your comfort zone. That okay, write it again. Write I. Put some space, then write M, then put some comfort zone. It's impossible. Right. Intelligence, augmented reality, virtual reality, nanotechnology, biotechnology, humanoids, cryptocurrency, IoT, blockchain, quantum mechanics, and cybersecurity. Few of the topics we covered yesterday under the vision and the able leadership of Seshasdripuram First Grade College, Newtown, Yelahanka, Bangalore, the 90-year-old trust that is making things happen. So, and much more is packed today, as Mr. Khalil Bauza would be soon joining us back from Spain. And he's talking about digital emergency. Soon after, there is Maggie Weber from Australia. She's going to talk about cryptocurrencies and blockchains. Cryptocurrencies, you can make your own currency at home. How about, see, we all work, we work hard, we work, we cook, we do everyday things. But how about making money? Straight away, leave everything and make money. That is what cryptocurrencies are about. Then we have Mr. Pani Vanan from Larsen and Toubro. He's going to talk about humanoids. And last but not the least for today, we have a very wonderful surprise package. Mr. Dipanshu. Wow, I'm not going to explain anything. He's a wonderful surprise package, a very young kid, a child prodigy in himself. How he's going to unfold, you are going to be mesmerized, and he's lined up at 4. So till 5 o'clock today, you are going to stay tuned with us for another 3 hours, and you're going to see what all is happening. And then again, tomorrow, even better, even longer. Today, we have in total 7 speakers, and tomorrow, I reckon we have close to 8 speakers. And then we have our honoring ceremony and valedictory session. So much more is lined up here, much more is coming your way. And each one of you, I urge whosoever is in the audience today and whosoever is watching us on the YouTube, if you think MentorX and Seshasdripuram can do something for you, feel free to reach us, feel free to reach Dr. Shantanu Das, feel free to reach me, or feel free to reach Dr. Nancy Juneja. We are available 24/7. We are here to help you, support you, and any kind of value we can create, we are here. You have any kind of idea you want to share, please share. You have any kind of startup, you want to bootstrap, you want to incubate your startup, we are available for each and everything. Anything whereby we can help and support you. There is a center of excellence we have North Bangalore Science Forum as well, to guide you with the visionary mentors from across the globe. They such eminent panel you would have never heard or seen of. So any kind of support, help, mentoring, incubation, bootstrapping, any idea, so brainstorming you need, Seshasdripuram and MentorX is there for you. Let's hear a few words from the visionary Dr. Shantanu Das as well. I can see him smiling, but when he talks, you want to listen him with pin drop silence. Dr. Shantanu Das. Sir, you have to unmute. Unmute, sir, unmute. This is a technology.
So as we have signed the MOU with the MentorX Global and Hover Robotics, I could feel that shortly our young kids at Bangalore will be on board with either Avirat or Akshaya or today Dipanshu. So I think they need to motivate our young guys to do something new, or we could learn from you that you had been a commerce graduate and from there you have started a company completely into over robotics, into robotics and artificial intelligence. So people must understand the background, either you are science or commerce or whatever, it doesn't matter. It matters the passion, it matters the humanity, it matters the purpose for which you are destined to. So if you have a particular purpose too and the passion behind that, definitely you can excel. And we have the live example here in front of you, Dr. Munish Jindal, who has been setting up his company in more than 35 companies. And we are so humble, or so I have dearth of words to explain him, that he has readily over a phone call agreed for the first conference, for this conference. I don't know what all is in his kitty that he is going to unfold like a magician, because I remember I happened to watch one magical show, PC Sarkar the Great, and you might have heard that he made the train vanish, he made the people in the chest, iron chest in the sea in Japan. So like he's a magician and ever smiling, all you could see that he is blushing even online. So you can understand when he comes to the Center for Excellence at Bangalore, his energy 24/7 he works. So I remember maybe during around 5-6 years back, I used to tell that I had been studying for around 18 to 19 hours. Studying for 18 to 19 hours. Then the moment I met Munish, he told me that I work for 20 hours a day. So it got correlated. Then I started calculating how I could do that during my master's, that around studying 19 to 20 hours a day. And no, we never felt less energetic. So this is how the passion drives you, the motive drives you, the motto drives you. So you must, all the young guys here, or the people or the delegates, you must have a motto. You must design yourself, destine yourself. You are meant for this, not only just because anyway, wherever you are there, eating, sleeping is a part and parcel of your life. It will happen. But the motto, if you assign with or get assigned with, it will drive you. It is the energy which will keep on giving you to excel, excel, and excel, and to create your own benchmark. You need not to compete with anyone else. You must understand you are not anyone's competitor, or you are not going to compete with anyone else. You have to compete with yourself. And the best example, you could have seen Usain Bolt, the Superman, what you call the fastest man in the world, he used to break his own yardsticks. So therefore, always remember, you are not competing with your classmates. You are not competing with your university mates. You are not competing with your state mates. You are always competing within you. And when you go to sleep, just think of what you have done whole day, and are you doing justice to the purpose of humanity or the life you are here, or you are wasting it. Because I still remember telling my dear students that the purpose for which you are laughing now, God forbids, it doesn't happen. One day you may have to cry for that. And the purpose for which you had been crying today, you might laugh down the lane thinking that why I have cried for. So it's completely you and your mind. You have to determine what you are going to do. So instead of taking much more time, I'd like to tell you people that please see that today at 4 o'clock, a wonder kid, he is called as the Bill Gates of India. He is from a rural village in Uttar Pradesh, and how he has completely transformed his acumen and his technical skills, and therefore he has become a global leader. He has become the youngest TEDx speaker. So it's you who has to create your own identity. Nobody will come and create you. It's your motivation who has to go ahead with. So with these words, I'll request all the participants. So please do, anyway, it's a lockdown time. So please do attend it. You will understand how people are growing leaps and bounds with online things, getting motivated and opening up their own organization. Either it is a small scale industry, or it can be a small robotics, or it can be agriculture, it can be biotech, it can be genetics. You could see the earlier speaker, he had a hemophilia, but how he has met patented and how he has got passionate and compassionate about your animals. So therefore you should understand that your life is having a purpose for which you have come to serve this earth, and you have to fulfill it. You shouldn't, you won't, it's only a single life. It's not multiple lives you will get. It is a single life, and you have to do justice with that single life only. So thank you, Munish ji, for making me speak few philosophical words, which I always keep speaking to my students. So I would like to know that the moment Khalil Bauza ji joins, due to certain technical issue, he is not able to rejoin. So let us see, and within the technicality, immediately we'll make him join, and then we'll go ahead with. Just be patient for a few minutes.
Hello. Can anyone acknowledge? Okay, so Shantanu sir is here. So Shantanu sir, what I have done is, hopefully I haven't interrupted you in between.
No.
Okay, great. So what I have done is I have requested Maggie Weber from Australia. She's joining us shortly in a minute or two. I don't know what is the problem with Khalil sir. If he comes back, then he will continue after Maggie Weber, ma'am. And before that, I really want to welcome Mr. Pon Manivanan GB. He's the VP Head Technology Solution and Innovation Center, Larsen & Toubro Technology Services Limited. Mr. Pon Manivanan, if you can just quickly turn on your camera and a mic for just 30 seconds so that we can acknowledge you. And wow, sir has acknowledged us. And namaste, sir. I'm still not able to see you.
And thank you.
Indeed a privilege, sir. Indeed a privilege. With both my hands folded, the soul within me honors the soul within you, and we are indeed privileged, and we feel grateful that you have joined us, and you carry a legacy of almost 4 decades behind you and with you, and the expertise. So today we are blessed that you are with us, and soon we're going to hear from you, maybe in another 40 minutes.
Yes, Dr. Munish, it's really a privilege to be part of this third edition. I'm really excited to see your energy level and your excitement, and it brings a positive energy on the audience and participants and speakers. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pawan Manivanan sir. So soon we're going to hear from you. And before that, let me see if Maggie Weber ma'am has joined. Yes, Maggie.
Yeah, she has also joined.
Wow, wow, wow. What a pleasure, Maggie. Wow, wonderful. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Namaste from India. Can you unmute yourself, please? So that is our graceful, ever smiling Maggie Weber, guys. Give it a huge round of applause to Maggie Weber. Yay! So see, as soon as Maggie Weber landed in, energies are on another higher note. Wow, so glad to see you. And you know, guys, Maggie is going to talk about cryptocurrencies and blockchain. And I'm wondering if today Maggie is going to share the secret to make money at home. Maggie, if you're going to do that, I would love it. Because it's the pandemic, we're sitting at home, and you can let me know how to mine money at home. That would be great.
Well, I don't know if I can tell you how to mine money, but I can certainly tell you how to make money. So yes.
Wow,
now,
that's great.
I might go to the PowerPoint.
But wait, first we need to introduce you in a proper way.
Okay,
then
of course.
We are providing you the rights as well. You can share your. So guys, Maggie Weber is here from Australia. Australia is very dear to me. I have spent good 6 years of my lifespan over there from 2003 to 2006. I have done my MBA Finance, MBA Psychology from University of Technology, Sydney, Australia. And I have done I'm a CPA Australia, and I have a residency of Australia. So I'm blessed. Yes, Maggie, that has come up as a I have lived in Sydney, Maggie, from 2003 to 2007. And for last 1 year, I was traveling across Adelaide, Melbourne, Brisbane, holidaying and exploring Australia. Then I came back to India.
Oh, goodness me. And whereabouts? Pardon the clock dinging, but I thought we were going to start at 7:10.
We have time, no problem.
Whereabouts are you in India? Where are you based in
Right
India?
now, I'm in Punjab, Ludhiana, Punjab.
Ah, my best girlfriend's from Punjab.
Wow. Thank goodness, girlfriend, not a boyfriend.
No, hold on. A friend who is a lady.
I know that. I'm just trying to be cheeky, you know.
You're being very cheeky. I have many dear friends in India. I go to India
You're very
year.
well connected.
Pre-COVID, I went to India every year, and because I speak at the Women Economic Forum in Delhi. And my dearest male friend over there, he actually, he does readings in Jyotish for people all around the world. And he took me to all these amazing, he took me up to Rishikesh and Haridwar and into all these places that probably ladies aren't supposed to go.
So see, guys, we're talking technologies, but do you see how amalgamation of cultures? Maggie is from Australia, but how well she knows India, how beautifully she's very well traveled in India, and how deeply she's connected in India. So this is when cultures connect, intellect gets manifold, expertise, cultures, diversifications, they come to each other, and it carves a better human being out of us. And even civilizations in the longer run becomes better. And it is good for the upcoming generations that people from all across the globe are connecting and uniting together. So with my folded hands, we are grateful to you, Miss Maggie Weber, for accepting our invite at such a short notice. And despite I know Maggie's not carrying good health as of now, still she managed that she would be here on 27th. Still, she didn't said no to me, and I'm grateful to her for that. And without much of ado, Dr. Shantanu Das is going to introduce her in a much better way, but I would like to tell that as I am from MentorX, Maggie is more better known as the working mother's mentor. Wow, the working mother's mentor. We are going to explore that domain as well. And Maggie, we have our co-founder, Dr. Nancy Juneja. I don't know whether you know her or not. She is the Dr. Nancy Juneja. Dr. Nancy, if you can unmute yourself. Dr. Nancy is another visionary woman. She's the co-founder of MentorX, and she's the global chairperson of MentorX Women. She is spearheading WoW Women, a global sisterhood solidarity movement. As of now, she's present in 32 countries. Yes, connecting women with women. And her vision is 200 countries, all the 8 billion people together. Wow. So quickly, let's hear from you, Dr. Nancy.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jindal, for such gracious words. It's indeed incredible to welcome Maggie ma'am here with us. It is amazing. And as rightly said by Dr. Jindal, it is definitely, connecting globally. And during this time, we were always connecting globally, but during this time, it's all the more compassion and empathy I'm seeing in each and everyone for supporting, coming together wholeheartedly and empowering. So thank you so much, Maggie ma'am, to come here. And we're looking forward to your power pack note. Thank you. Indeed humbled.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste. And Maggie, this confluence of technologies that we're discussing, it is happening at Seshasdripuram first grade college in Bangalore. I'm sure you must be knowing about Bangalore. So this, yes, great. So Seshasdripuram is a 90-year-old trust, educational trust. And today, as of today, they are celebrating their 90 years. And that is why we have kept this confluence of technologies under a wonderful leadership of the visionary Dr. Shantanu Das. And he's a wonderful man. He's building a legacy. Usually people build their legacy for themselves. He's building the legacy for his students and the people around. So over to you, Dr. Shantanu Das. Thank you. Wow. I would love to know if you introduce Seshasdripuram group to Maggie Weber ma'am, as well as introduce her in a much better way, because I don't know how to introduce Maggie.
Thank you, madam. Thank you, Manish. Thank you, Nancy. So Maggie Weber, also widely known as the working mother's mentor, is a passionate professional speaker and Amazon international best-selling author, plus a startup and a small business coach and consultant. More than 35 years ago, she launched her marketing and management consultancy firm and has coached corporations and individuals ever since. Micro Maggie. So mother's mentor, then Micro Maggie, is dedicated to her clients and provides them with a wide variety of tools to enhance their productivity, effectively manage stress levels, and attain optimal health and work-life integration. Over the years, Maggie has personally coached many professional athletes, top executives, and the world-renowned entertainers. Though today, her primary specialty is working with entrepreneurs, startups, and corporate athletes. As part of her macro Maggie work, she holds advisory board positions for prominent organizations such as GCC, which funds a number of disruptive technologies such as Green Box Power, a patented zero waste to power process, Rockstar Hubs International, the UK's #1 mentoring company Humanity One, Simple Drinking Water, and the Social Media Association. Maggie has served as a keynote speaker at the Women Economic Forum in London, Hague, and New Delhi. Initially, she was inspired to help people achieve lasting success in their work and all other aspects of their lives. During her studies with Dr. Deepak Chopra, and after becoming his first meditation facilitator in the Pacific Rim, Maggie holds a Master of Commerce from UNSW, a Bachelor of Education from UTAS, and a Bachelor of Business Leadership from UNISA, and most importantly, become a Heart Math Resilience Advantage trainer. She has also created and facilitates an intensive 3-part program called Wellness at Work to various management teams and their staff. As an avid yogini, Ayurveda, and organic gardening devotee, you will often find Maggie on an yoga mat or knee deep in compost in her vegetable garden. Her other passion is studying how the blockchain will make the world a better, fairer, and more sustainable place to live. Her recently published book, A Working Mother's Guide to Blockchain and Cryptocurrency, became her second bestseller on Amazon, and is a part of her mission to help educate and mentor women around the world about investing and the many pitfalls that may occur, help to guide them into safer and more equitable investing that is beyond the traditional banking system. So wholeheartedly, I welcome on behalf of Seshasdripuram Educational Trust, established in 1930, that too by 2 young women philanthropists, the niece of Sir M. Visvesvaraya, the great engineer of India, in 1930 with 14 students, Now we have 34 institutions under the trust running for last 9 decades, working for the common cause to serve the society with non-profit organization, as a non-profit organization. This trust has been serving poorest to richest, from kindergarten to PhD, to the research. So Seshasdripuram First Grade College, one of the premier flagship institution under Seshasdripuram Educational Trust, North Bangalore Science Forum, Mentor X Global, Hover Robotics, Hoverboats India, Indian Institute of Science Alumni Association, and Karnataka Science and Technology Academy, Research Foundation of India, New Delhi, welcome you for the 3rd International Conference for the 2nd day post-lunch session on Confluence of Technologies. What not it is here: AI, humanoids, biotechnology, nanotechnology, augmented reality, virtual reality, blockchain, cryptocurrency, robotics, automation, cybersecurity, and quantum mechanics. Maggie Madden, as we could see you from Micro Maggie to Macro Maggie to Mother's Mentor, and today we'll learn from you how, being so dynamic, you will make us to create money at home. Over to you, Maggie Madden. Welcome you wholeheartedly.
Thank you. Namaste. Namaste. I'm intuiting that it would be easier for me to just do some notes first.
Yes,
and
sure.
speak to you first, and then I will go through a PowerPoint presentation. Maybe.
As per your comfort, another next 35 minutes are yours.
Okay. It's very interesting. When I was in New Delhi for the first time, a lady looked at my palm and she said, "You're on your 637th incarnation." And I said, "No wonder I'm so exhausted." You'd think I'd get the lesson, wouldn't you? But when I listened to that CV, I thought you were going to shorten it. Yeah, again, I've lived many lifetimes just in this one, I think. I've done a lot of things. So let me get straight into it and speak with you about, I'm going to talk to you about what blockchain is, just a little bit about blockchain, and then the blockchain for Bitcoin. And then I'm going to talk to you about cryptocurrency and the benefits of it. So what I'm going to do is just, as I say, go through these notes, give you a bit of history. And then I think that the last bit of information I'm going to give you about why I'm so passionate to work with people about this will really pull together with what you're doing through your foundation. And it's amazing because the synchronicity is remarkable. So let's have a little look. What is a blockchain? Well, I'm just going to talk specifically. Blockchains are used for, gosh, supply chain, in agriculture, in fishing, in cryptocurrency. They're even being used in elections. But what blockchains are like decentralized, and decentralized is a very important word. They're like a decentralized ledger made up of blocks of data. So the Bitcoin blockchain, the first block that was ever created on the Bitcoin blockchain was created on the 3rd of January, 2009. And that's very important. I'll go into some dates in a little while, but it's very important because hidden in that first block, which was called the Genesis block, and it was called the Genesis block because it was the first block, was a hidden secret message. And the hidden secret message was words from the front of the London Times newspaper. And the heading that day said, "Chancellor on the brink of second bailout for banks." These banks that were too big to fail. And the Chancellor was about to go in and give the second bailout to these banks, you see? Now, that's the 3rd of January 2009 that this first block was created. about 4 months before, Lehman Brothers it crashed on September the 13th or September the 15th, beg your pardon, in 2008. Now that was one of those banks that was too big to fail. And so what happened was the government would come in and they would bail out these banks because they just couldn't have them sort of falling down like dominoes. Everyone got such a shock when Lehman Brothers went under, and so they just came in and just tried to save these banks. Now, later on in the presentation, I'm going to talk to you about the difference between a bailout and a bail-in, and it's very scary, but I'll get to that in a minute. So what was the point of that first Genesis block and that information being hidden in that first Genesis block? One, by putting the 3rd of January 2009, that headline from the front of the Times, the London Times, it gave it a timestamp. It put like that date and the timestamp in it, but it also included, it was a derisive comment, which was a comment about what was happening, the global instability that was being caused by fractional reserve banking. Now that was 2009, and goodness me, look at where we are at the moment with the banking situation. So goodness knows what we've got coming. So decentralization, though, is at the heart, at the very core of blockchain and Bitcoin. And it was created, that Genesis block was created by someone called Satoshi Nakamoto. And Satoshi Nakamoto, to this day, we still don't know whether Satoshi Nakamoto was a man or a woman or a group of people. And so, and it doesn't really matter, although there's a chap, an Australian chap called Craig Wright, who's now coming out and claiming he was Satoshi Nakamoto, and there's a big court case going on about it now. But the whole idea of this decentralization and the modus operandi behind what Satoshi Nakamoto was doing when he wrote this paper, and I'll discuss that in a minute, but also created that Genesis block, was he wanted that no control was ever going to be ever again with a single entity. This is the whole thesis behind blockchain, that it's never run by a bank or a government who can pull the strings and manipulate the markets or take away the freedom that Bitcoin, grants. And this is why Bitcoin is often called the people's coin, because it is peer-to-peer transactions between people, and the banks are not even involved. So you can understand why the banks and governments are very threatened at the thought of it. And the other good thing about having a blockchain, and I don't know if I've got time to go into it, is that by having each block, you can't, once a block is created, you can't change it. I won't get into the whole maths and technology of that right now on this call, but by having the blockchain, it proves, it stops something called double spending. So you might want to Google what double spending is all about. So now, what is crypto? What is cryptocurrency? Well, Bitcoin was the first, and it's considered, therefore, the mothership, the first of the cryptocurrencies. Now, I checked today, it's interesting because I gave a presentation on Bitcoin on the 25th of July. And at that stage, there were 5,784 other cryptocurrencies apart from Bitcoin, Bitcoin being the first. Today, I checked, just over a month later, there's now 6,585 other coins. So you can understand why so many of them would have been created in this time to, you know, with what's going on with COVID-19, etc. So, and these other coins are called altcoins, which stands for alternative coins. And you can go on a site called www.coinmarketcap, and you can see the market capitalization of, I think, probably the top 200 of these altcoins. I think I've never gone further than 200. And I look at that every day, that website, to see what's happening with the things that I'm investing. Well, I shouldn't use the word investing. The cryptocurrencies that I'm purchasing. We're not supposed to use the word investment. And in fact, I meant to start this presentation by giving a, what's this? Someone's inviting me to a breakfast breakout. Don't know what that means. I meant to start my presentation by giving a disclaimer too, by the way, that this is not financial advice. Please, I'm not giving financial advice at all. I'm just giving what I have studied and what I have learnt from my own studies and from my own buying up alternative altcoins and Bitcoin. And one of the main reasons I got into this is because I bought my first Bitcoin back in 2017, and I got caught up in a scam. And there's so many scams out there. There are so many scams out there. So you must be very, very careful. And I'm glad I got caught up in a scam, because I, lost $10,000 US in this scam. I was just about to, my money was in there for like 33 months or something, and it was just about I was about to take my money out and my Bitcoin that I'd earned, and then the person who'd put me into this, I shouldn't use the word investment, but told me about it. She said, no, reinvest it, put it back in. And 2 days later, the whole thing fell over. And I'm grateful for it, because it was such a good learning for me to watch out for. And it also meant that with all my studies, I've written a best-selling book on it to help people falling into the same traps. So it's cryptocurrency is not physical money. It exists online. And people go, oh, that's dangerous. But so does your money in the bank. So does your fiat currency. And fiat currency means government issued currency. And all it is a whole series of zeros and ones on a ledger in your bank. And trust me, when I get to talk about bail-ins in a little while, you'll see you can lose it fairly quickly. So at this stage, there are no crypto coins issued by governments or banks, but there are a lot of people. The World Bank is currently looking at this. Japan's looking at doing a crypto yen. China certainly is. And we and I know Facebook, which, if you look at how many members of Facebook there are, they were going to bring out this Libra coin. They've got about a third of the world's population as members of Facebook, and it would just give too much control to one party. So it defeats the whole purpose of decentralization if a government or something like Facebook issues coins. So for people to trust in Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, other altcoins, there needs to be checks and balances so that it's secure as a national fiat currency. I worry so much when I hear about the security of national currencies, and I see these countries. I don't know what it's like in India, but our printing presses at the moment, printing Australian dollars, they're just going 24/7. And the value, of course, of the dollar and the US dollar is just going through the floor. But that's a whole nother story. But how do we get these checks and balances? This is where a group of people called miners come in. And it's up to the miners to dig for the digital gold. So who and what are miners? Miners are like auditors. They check every person who buys cryptocurrency or Bitcoin. They have what are called private keys and public keys. And these long numbers of, these things with lots of numbers and letters, these combinations, they're very complex. They use very complex mathematics. They're called and algorithms. And so that's kind of what you send off. When you're sending Bitcoin to somebody, you're actually sending probably about 24 letters and numbers to them, and it ends up in Bitcoin in your account. It's really odd if you've never seen any of it before. But once these miners what they're doing is creating these blocks of data that make the blockchain up. And once the right combination of the mathematics is found, and it's verified by other miners in the network, this provides once this transaction is done, this creates a timestamp. That's what that quote from the London Times was, a timestamp. And once all this is confirmed by thousands of computers around the world, a new block is created. And according to Bitcoin, a new block is created probably about between 8 and 10 minutes. Now, there are other altcoins that are much faster than Bitcoin, but Bitcoin's the first, and so I'm giving you the history on Bitcoin. And this is how miners get paid. They get paid because, and that gives them the incentive to keep going, because once they create a block and they check it with all the other computers, it's like a race, it's like a competition for these miners to get there first. But once one gets there and gets the algorithm right, then the others verify it, and on they go and they, create the next block. But this is how the miners get paid, and they have this incentive to keep going. And therefore there's absolutely no need for a government or a bank to even intervene. So you can understand why they're feeling a bit upset, because there's no need for them. So we had this year something called a halving in May this year. I think it was May the 15th we had one. And this is where things get interesting, because there's only ever going to be 21 million Bitcoin mined. We've already mined 17.5 million of them. And so I'm very pleased that I've got 3 of them. But what happens is when the first block was mined, Satoshi Nakamoto got paid 50 Bitcoin. But every time there's a halving, the amount that they earn shrinks by half. So therefore, if you understand about supply and demand, the supply and as the supply gets less, the demand gets more. And this is why when we had a halving in May, if we hadn't had COVID come in, the value of it would have just gone zoom. Whenever there's a halving, the value of your Bitcoin goes up. All right. Now I'm going to talk to you about some important dates for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. And one of these is really very good, really very interesting. So as mentioned, on September the 15th, 2008, Lehman Brothers collapsed. And 6 weeks after, the paper was published by Satoshi Nakamoto on October the 31st, 2008, and it was called Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. So all done on the computer. So that was October 31st, 2008. Then on January the 3rd, he created that Genesis block. That first bit of the Bitcoin software was used and launched that Genesis block. And the reward, as I say, was 50 Bitcoin, which we have since found out has never been cashed in. And for those of you good at maths, you can do your maths, and I'll tell you in a little while what a Bitcoin's worth today. So May 22nd, this is a bit that really makes me laugh. On May 22nd, 2010, the first purchase was made using Bitcoin. Now, in those days, a Bitcoin was worth about 5 cents. So a chap called Laszlo Hanyecz, I think that's how you say it, he bought 2 Papa John pizzas, used 10,000 Bitcoin to do it. Now, I worked out that today's rate, at the 27th of August, 2020, he paid $114,072,900 for 2 Papa John pizzas, because at today's rate, 1 Bitcoin's worth $11,407 US dollars and 29 cents. That's how much in value it's gone up. So the highest price that's ever been, that Bitcoin's ever gone to was in December 17th, 2019. And that price was US $19,783. And according to the people who analyze the markets and do all these sorts of things, we're just, because of the halving in May, we're about to head for another of these bull runs. And so goodness knows where the price may go. And that's why a lot of people buy and they hold their Bitcoin, and they buy and they hold it because according to some people, one Bitcoin could be worth $100,000 or more. It just depends. But I must say it's been a bit up and down of late. And then the last Bitcoin of the 21 million is going to be mined into the year 2140. But of course, remembering each time it's halved, there's going to be less and less and less Bitcoin made and less earned by the miners. So what are the top benefits of Bitcoin? Well, there's the security it provides because it's connected. The network is tens of thousands of these mining computers, each of them monitoring and verifying transactions and adding these blocks every it's usually about 10 minutes, let's say, adding blocks onto this blockchain. So therefore, this prevents any single entity, any single person, any bank, anybody changing any records. The other good thing about blockchain, the Bitcoin blockchain, is it's what's called open source. So therefore, every single transaction can be seen, although your identity is disguised. Because you're sending numbers and your private key is a whole series of numbers and letters. But it doesn't mean to say you can't be tracked. I don't know if any of you heard about 3 weeks ago, this chap in America who did this scam on Twitter with Barack Obama's account and a whole lot of people's accounts, and it was trying to get people to pay him in Bitcoin. And he only earned about $170,000. I mean, he shouldn't have earned a cent because it was a scam, but about $170,000 of Bitcoin. But they tracked that lad down. He was 17 and he's got 300 Bitcoin. So I wonder where he earned those from and how many people he's been scamming in the past. So yes, every transaction is visible and you can track people. Because of the keys and things, the public keys. But because of the security that's provided by it being open source and everything being tracked, and so it should be able to be tracked, you're provided complete transparency, and it's built, according to Satoshi Nakamoto's belief, it's built on the foundation of interdependence. Not independence of various banks and reserve banks. And I don't know how your banking system works in India, but I know, we've got a reserve bank in Australia who sets the rates of interest rates and this and that and the other. And as for what goes on in America, don't start me. So it's built on this foundation of interdependence and freedom. So there's zero chance of any fraud or any record tampering. The other thing that I love about Bitcoin is, sending it to various parties or being paid it, is that there's no exorbitant monetary charges to middlemen or women. No fees. Well, very few fees. I sent 1 Bitcoin the other day to something that I was getting involved in, and it cost me 70 cents in fees. And it was in the other person's account in about 7 minutes. Could you imagine if I tried to send that money overseas, in a normal fiat currency thing? Anyway, so the beautiful benefit is low overall cost, but the high efficiency of the transfer. Now, I wanted to speak with you about why I'm so passionate about this. Yes, I'm called the Working Mother's Mentor. Yes, I love the fact that we can get online and we can teach people. And this is one of the benefits. I know maybe it's hard. I don't want to sound heartless, but there are many benefits that have come out of this COVID-19 situation. And one of them is that we're getting on and we're learning to educate online. And this is what I'm so passionate about with teaching women, because so many people, I noticed this in India when I was, traveling around. most of them had a smartphone. And yet, listen to this. This is a fascinating statistic. At this stage in India, China's worse, but India's the second worst situation. There are 190 million unbankables. Now, what does the term unbankable mean? It means that they do not have access to a bank account. So they can't even save, they don't even get to a bank account. But if they've got a smartphone and if they've got the internet, they can do all of this. And they can even, the other beautiful thing about it is that with Bitcoin, you can break a Bitcoin down into fractional parts, small parts, which are called Satoshis. You try, I don't know, rupees, you try breaking up a rupee, you'd have to rip up the paper. You can't do that. You can't do that with a US dollar. So, but with Satoshis, you can break it down to these tiny, tiny, tiny parts. Now, of course, the value of that part varies depending on what the Bitcoin price is by the day. So it's now 7:35, goodness, which is pretty well finished, and I haven't even showed you any screens. Are there any questions? How do I go into the chat to see if there are any questions? No?
Yes, ma'am.
Is there anyone who wants to ask me a question?
Yes. Let me check out with.
And also, I would love to give everybody a copy of my book. So I'm somehow going to have to see if I can go into my, oh no, that's not going to work. Maybe people are going to have to email me at Maggie@maggieweber.com. That's 2 G's, 2 B's, Maggie@maggieweber.com. Let me see if I can type it in the chat.
Ma'am, can you type it in the chat?
Yes, of course. That's because I haven't even got onto the PowerPoint presentation. And we've almost run out of time. So Maggie@maggieweber.com, email me and I'll send you a link to my book.
Oh, great. That's great. You shouldn't be typing your email right like that in the chat. We will be selling your email on a premium, so that if anyone wants to talk to Maggie, you pay us 5 rupees per minute. See,
sorry.
you're that prestigious. We will be selling your email ID.
Oh,
I'm again being
no, I don't want to do anything wrong.
No, you're doing beautiful. You're doing wonderful.
So did it all make sense? I know it can seem quite complicated to start with, but the book will certainly help. I'm losing you.
Or you have still more to share? Am I audible?
Yes.
I got you now. I lost you there for a
Hello.
while. I can hear you now.
Mundishji, your data is very low.
Okay. I'm asking, are things to share with?
Yes.
Shantanu sir, can you help me? Ma'am is done with the session.
Yes. Yes, tell me.
Okay.
Your voice is breaking.
You mean Munish in their voice is breaking or Maggie ma'am's?
Munish.
Okay, Munish. Okay, let me switch on my internet then. I have better internets at my place. So, so is it better now?
Yes.
Am I audible now?
Yes.
Okay. So yes, Maggie.
Yes, I can hear you.
Wonderful. So I was just asking, are you done with the session or you have more information to share?
She has done with.
Look,
Okay.
I've done it. I think I've given you most information.
Wonderful. So that was a very powerful session by Miss Maggie Weber, all the way from Australia. And if I'm not wrong, I heard in your introduction you are UTS alumni. Am I right? UTS?
Yes.
No, University of New South Wales.
Okay, University of New South Wales.
Yeah,
You
I got my Master of Commerce from University of New South Wales.
And whereabouts your undergrads?
I got my first degree from University of Tasmania, and then that was my teaching degree. And then
Wonderful.
I was working on a Greek ship, and I jumped ship in South Africa.
Great.
And I
great.
got a Bachelor of Business Leadership over there at UNISA, at the School of Business Leadership there, and it was me and 142 men on this course.
Wow,
So that was
wonderful,
interesting.
wonderful. So Maggie is very well traveled and very well connected. So thank you, Maggie, for such wonderful session. And with my folded hands again, I'm grateful to you. And the soul within me honors the soul within you. Thank you for being with us. We are indeed honored to have you. And soon, tomorrow, we have honoring ceremony around 4:30 India time, 4:30 to 6:30.
Right.
So if you be able to join, we have a valedictory session and we are going to honor you tomorrow. It would be a privilege if you can join just for 5 minutes, anytime between 4:30 to 6:30 India time. That would be like with you would be 9 p.m. to 11 p.m.
I will certainly do my best. Yes, so 9 p.m. to 11 p.m.
So thanks a lot, Maggie. And we are indeed grateful that you are here with us. And soon we are looking forward to a long-term bond with you. Let's see how we can work together. MentorX, Maggie, and
Would love to. I would love to.
Great.
I would love to share a point here if possible.
Yes, Dr. Yes.
Yeah, so it was lovely listening to you, Maggie Weber, ma'am. And indeed, there's a connection in your profile. I found when I heard Deepak Chopra, sir, I myself have been the student of his maiden courses and definitely inclined to spirituality. And when I heard Shantanu sir saying about that you are probably a masiha of the working moms and, and all that stuff, trust me, being a working mother, I feel, and I could totally relate to whatever you said. So, it makes sense. And I plead to each and everyone that let's just connect to her and let's get the insights more deep so that we can connect in long run and we can make things happen for us. Thank you so much for coming here today. It was really an insightful session.
Well, I hope so. And my intention is to create an online program teaching people much more in depth how to do this, how to set up their wallets, how to do all these things. Okay, so I want to leave you with something Deepak taught me, and let's see if I can remember it. He taught me that namaste means I honor the place in you in which the entire universe dwells. When you are in that place in you, I am in that place in me. We are one.
Wow, that's a wonderful message. So closing note for Maggie quickly from Dr. Shantanu Das, and let's welcome our next guest then.
Yeah, thank you so much, Maggie madam. Thank you wholeheartedly on behalf of Seshasdripuram Group of Institutions, North Bangalore Science Forum, Hover Robotics, MentorX Global, Indian Institute of Science, Alumni Association, Karnataka Science and Technology Academy, and Research Foundation of India. We wholeheartedly thank you for your kind, insightful talk and in-depth making us learn how a working woman can do such wonders from micro, macro to a mother of mentor. So really wonderful. Thank you, madam, so much. And we hope to see you tomorrow. As Munishji has told, Indian Standard Time, that is 4:30 to 6 o'clock. So please do join us for a couple of minutes. Thank you, madam.
I will indeed. Thank you so much. Namaste.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wow, so that was a wonderful session on cryptocurrencies and blockchains by Miss Maggie Weber from Australia. And now, guys, wonderful human being with the legacy, with the empire he has built of knowledge, expertise. Till now, we have talked either about human beings or about technologies. Guess what? The next gentleman, the extraordinary gentleman who belongs to the League of Extraordinary People, he is going to talk about humanoids. Humans infused into technology or technology infused into human. None other than Mr. Pon Manivan GB from Larsen & Toubro Technology Services Limited, India. He's the VP, Head Technology Solution and Innovation Center. He carries the legacy of more than 4 decades with him, though he doesn't look old, but yes, I'm sure tons of experience and expertise lies behind this man. The wonderful man And I'm so grateful that we connected over just a WhatsApp message, and we connected so wonderfully, so beautifully. He has been so I say grounded, though the high pedestal he comes from, he's been so humble, and I'm grateful, sir, with both my hands folded to you. First of all, I welcome to the platform, a joint platform by Seshasdripuram First Grade College, Yalanka, Newton, Bangalore, and by the MentorX. I'm the founding president of MentorX. We launched MentorX with a vision to educate, to empower, to elevate. As in our education system, we still believe that it's under the traditional barriers. So wherever there are gaps, we are bridging those gaps. Anyone who needs extra skills, any kind of empowerment or elevation to a new level, and we are doing it, whether it's a kid of 4 years, youth, startups, women, entrepreneurs, professionals, people regardless of their age, gender, regardless of their demographics. Serving entire world. As of now, we are in 32 countries, directly touching the lives of 2 million people, with a vision that by 2022, presence in 200 countries and all the 8 billion people. I have my co-founder, Dr. Nancy Juneja here. She's the co-founder of MentorX, and she's the global chairperson of MentorX Women, leading the Wo Women movement, a global solidarity sisterhood movement that she's commanding across the globe, connecting women with women. Then none other than we have Dr. Shantanu Das, the visionary from Seshasdripuram First Grade College and Seshasdripuram Educational Trust, Yalanka, Newton, Bangalore. This initiative, the Confluence of Technologies, is a joint vision undertaken together with Dr. Shantanu Das. That is happening over 3 days, and today is the second day. And now we would love to have you on the podium. Before that, let's hear a quick few words from Dr. Nancy, and then, yes, Mr. Shantanu Das. Dr. Nancy, please unmute.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jindal. It's indeed a pleasure to see galaxy of educationalists, technologies, and corporate people coming here, and the icing on the cake is so. It is like esteemed our pleasure that he's here to bless us, all our young people out there, with his wisdom, with his vast experience. And we look forward to you, sir, for all the guidance that you would be giving us, because definitely it will be the turning point for the future generations to come. Thank you so much. We are blessed to have you on our platform, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy, madam. Thank you, Munish ji. So I would like to wholeheartedly welcome Shri Ponam Manivaram GB. Yes. Okay. So on behalf of Seshasdripuram Educational Trust, a 90-year-old institution, Seshasdripuram First Grade College, North Bangalore Science Forum, MentorX Global, Hover Robotics, Hoverboats India, Indian Institute of Science Alumni Association, and Karnataka Science and Technology Academy and Research Foundation of India, New Delhi, we wholeheartedly welcome you, sir. And to just do the honor, it's my privilege that I could introduce you that sir has spent over 36 years experience in global product development in aerospace, automotive, consumer electronic, telecom, multimedia, and networking domain. Currently VP and Head Technology Solution and Innovation Center to build innovation culture and to develop strategy, technology roadmap, build solution in new technology areas in collaboration with institutes, research labs, drive knowledge management system, automation of engineering knowledge processing, IPR management. In the previous role he was the head of the automotive and aerospace business in L&T, avionics head Infotech Enterprises Limited, New Scient as AVP, Trions Consulting Private Limited as Director Embedded Practices, HCL Technologies Managing Aerospace Program, various role in power source research in Central Electrochemical Research Institute, CSIR, Government of India. He has received several awards, out of which we could like to mention that International CSR Excellence Award, NASCOM Digital Skill Development Innovation Culture Award in Innovex Asia and in CII, Best Change Intervention Award in L&T, Airbus Aerospace Supplier Award, Avionics Software Contribution Recognition by Rockwell Collins, Committee Member in International Transportation Electrification Conference by IEEE and SAE, Member in National CII Innovation Task Force in Western Region, CII CTO Forum Core Committee Member, and he has given several lectures worldwide. With this brief, very brief introduction, I would like to request Ponam Manivaram GB sir to address our entire delegates. Welcome wholeheartedly to you, sir.
First of all, thank you. And thanks to all the organizers, Dr. Munish, Dr. Nancy, Santanu Das, for giving me this opportunity. In fact, I'm very passionate when it comes to sharing of knowledge in the student community. I do give a lot of lectures in the startup as well as in the different institutions. And I also have been a visiting faculty in some of the leading institutes. That's out of my sheer passion to share some knowledge. Now, I think this is a very great initiative. I think Mentorex, I'm really excited. And the reason I immediately accepted is, yes, the kind of job that you do, I think under Mentorex and by robotics, coordinating that, and Seshasdripuram Trust, I think is phenomenal. I think people on the other side will definitely realize the benefit that they will get out of that. So thanks, and I'm really happy and be associated with this third edition. So let me start without spending too much of time. So I have a presentation there. So I will be talking about humanoid robotic systems. And I have a PPT. So just let me share that.
You can share, sir.
Is it visible now?
Yes, sir. Very much visible, sir.
Yes, sir.
And we can see how beautifully, how much, wonderful pain you have taken. That first slide is of the conference itself. Wow.
Yeah, normally in conference, I put the tagline or their banners. I realized that the whole slide, you have so many people there as the contributors. So I thought like there is one slide I should really put that to start with. So thanks to all
Great,
the
sir.
people who are part of that.
Very few visionary speakers who think to this detail that the first slide should be of the conference itself. Great. Thank you, sir. We are blessed.
Yeah. Now, so humanoid robot system is still evolving. So whatever the little I know, I'll be sharing that. So I'll also go along with you as part of this learning or the knowledge sharing process. Now, today I will be talking about a brief introduction I'll give and an overview about the humanoid system, what the component and how the architecture of a humanoid system is, and the different kind of humanoid systems, and what is the application for this, and what are the challenges and vulnerabilities, etc. And of course, there are a lot of opportunities, specifically the post-COVID-19 scenario. I think many of you have seen a lot of robots being put into use for managing the crowd, for social distancing, and for drug delivery in the hospital. So it has really helped us in the society. I think humanoid, rather than just looking at as a science fiction kind of product, I think it has a lot of things it can offer to humanity. So that's what I'm going to touch base. Of course, there are the other side of the misuse of humanoid can also happen that I'm not going to talk about. I'll always talk about the positive application of the technology. Now, if you really look at the humanoid robot, it actually resembles in terms of human physical attributes. So you have one head and torso and two arms. But sometimes the humanoid robot have two types of mobility. One is biped or wheeled. Because at the end of the day, it's not that some school of thought say that you have to replicate human movement completely. Some people say, is it good enough to replicate as long as it does the activity what a human can do? So from that perspective, and to make this simple, very simpler, we'll have used two types of, one is a biped, which is a two-legged kind of movement, and the other one is the wheeled movement. So there are two types of humanoid robots. Now here we are seeing on the right side, the real kind of tissue engineering has played a major role in giving a real face to a humanoid robot. And the top one you see is Janko Chihira from Toshiba. And the other one, Erika, is from Osaka and Kyoto University Joint Development. And Geminoid DK is from Aalborg and Osaka University. And Nadine is from Kokoro from Japan. And the other one is University of Science and Technology from China. It's Georgia. And many of you might have seen in the media, I think a lot of ad, and it was like a star in like your Hollywood. In the robo world, Sophia has traveled worldwide. In fact, recently got the citizenship in Saudi Arabia, and that's from Hansen Robotics from Hong Kong. Now, so one is the physical attributes similar to human, and the ability to communicate with the humans as well as the robots, and try to interpret the information that is presented to the robot, and perform limited activities according to the user input. So either you can have your own joystick kind of remote control, or you can have an autonomous robot. And all these robots have a series of sensors. They're not just one sensor. There is a plethora of sensors which is tied to these robots. And of course, depending on the degree of freedom movement, which ranges from 6 degree to 70 plus degree of freedom. So to that extent, you need to have that many number of actuators. Now the sensors you can put into two categories. One is proprioceptive, which is basically the position, the orientation of the robot, and the speed of the body movement, and then the joint angle. And of course, the exteroceptive sensors is for the object to have the appropriate force. And of course, when you really handle an object, what kind of force you have to apply depending on the object property. You have to, first of all, identify the object, what kind of material, and accordingly, you have to apply the force and the torque. So the last sensor is basically the accelerometers and the tilt sensors, basically for movement planning and control. So to just start with, so you see that it is almost trying to replicate your human possibilities, except the cognitive skill, which is still evolving. Now I'm going on to the second slide, where now you didn't see the human face, but you are seeing almost a replica of a human, and except for the real face, you have a different kinds of faces. And different companies have come out with different types of humanoid robot. And the Diligent Robotics has a Moxie robot, and SoftBank has Romeo, and Honda has Asimo, and NASA for their own Mars and different space mission, Valkyrie. And Toyota has Toyota Humanoid Robot 3 now has been released. And of course, Android Technics has a Fedor robot. Now, the one thing that I mentioned was on the cognitive skill, based on how humans learn from sensory information, and to equip perceptual and motor skills, and develop almost like imitating the computational model skill of human behavior. In planning and control, the normal difference between an industrial robot and a humanoid robot is that humanoid robot has a legged motion, and so you need to have a very complex zero moment point kind of algorithm for your motion. And you need to also balance the robot when there is some payload or some activity has to be done. So still you have to maintain that zero moment point. And it also has to do some self-collision detection, path planning, obstacle avoidance, that too in a specific complex environment. So that's about a summary of what we really expect, or what is that at a high level a humanoid robot is all about. Now, I'm just getting slightly deep diving Again, this is maybe at a 30,000 feet level. You can see the different subsystems of a humanoid robot. One is the systems development, starts from the systems engineering and system architecture, which has the mechatronic. You have a hardware architecture, you have the software architecture. Again, in the software, you need to have the algorithm development. Before that, you have to do some modeling of your robot, depending on the kind of task that we are, activity that we are planning to do. That's about the first step of the system development. And then you have the hardware architecture, which is basically a mechatronic systems driven by different actuating systems, which could be hydraulic, pneumatic, or electric, and different kinds of sensors and different types of material like aluminum and different kind of polymeric materials. And of course, you need a lithium ion kind of small battery pack, and the communication mechanism within the robot, and robot to robot and robot to human. And of course, the overall mechanical structure. And how do we really interact? The human-robot interaction is one of the major researched area. One is how do we really develop the interface? How do we really talk to the robot? And the safety associated with that. And of course, in terms of how do we really collaborate? We have heard about cobots, collaborative robots coming to the market, specifically in the industrial sector. So how do we really have the collaboration architecture or collaboration protocol being built in? And the cognitive skill, the perception and the navigation, this is a very, very complex area based on the perception. And perception is starting from sensing and interpreting the information. Now the sensing, again, if you really go to on the left side, you can see a big list. This is only a small list. There is a big list there. From a human perspective, whether some human is present, or if you really want to detect the face, identify the face recognition, so that you can identify the individual. And if the individual is in a different posture, how do I characterize that? And the individual has an emotion, how do I recognize that? And he is speaking, he or she is speaking, and with different kinds of modulations, how do I really recognize the speech? And of course, user attention and what is the intention of the user, and of course, profiling the user. This from the human perspective. The second one is the object. Suppose you are asking the robot to do some kind of pick and place or carry some material there. Now you need to do a 3D, first of all, camera-based image and object recognition, and then do the segmentation and object recognition and object tracking. And after this is done, then you may have to have your own perception analysis and interpretation, what you are supposed to do, etc., based on the mission management. Now, there could be other things like from the voice, there are some other sounds. You need to have sound detection. Now, sound localization, there are too many people talking, or there are some noise or audio is coming from different sources. Humans have the very unique skill. He or she can be able to identify from where that particular sound is coming and then pay attention to that. So how do I really focus my or localize my attention? And then if there is a movement, how to detect and external collision detection. Of course, in terms of environment, the place, whether it is a smooth floor, or in terms of location, harsh location, or it is lighted, or it is dark. So if there is any other noise and vibration, if it is going to disturb my own activity. So these are all with respect to perception. Now the cognitive skill is basically, there will be some kind of mission planning, mission management. What is that the robot is supposed to do? And accordingly have its own cognitive architecture, and of course, in terms of action plan. This is coming from a deep learning, machine learning, and the deep learning. So that's one thing I think it has its own learning machine and architecture to be inbuilt. Of course, the navigation helps you in terms of movement of the robot. And where there is a map, I think you can make use of the map. But when there is no map, then how do I really make myself navigate? Or if the map has an error, so what do I do? So how do I do my course correction or self-correction? And how do I make myself localized presence identified and identifying myself? So these are the various things in terms of the technology perspectives, the sensors perspectives, which goes into the overall humanoid system. It is not that all the humanoid robot will have all these features. It all depends on the complexity of the task that is involved. You may have to have your own architecture. Now, I'm going on to the next slide. I've just picked up one humanoid so that it is easy for us to connect. Now, we mentioned about the sensors. Now you have the gyro sensor for angle, tilt angle, microphone, accelerometer for acceleration, tilt sensors, and force and torque sensors, position sensing. Vision and image is a very complex one. You may have camera-based as well as LiDAR-based light detection and ranging. Robo will also have some kind of radar kind of sensing signals. Of course, when it comes to actuation, as I said earlier, the electrical system, a pneumatic system, hydraulic and piezoelectric and ultrasound are the different kinds of actuator systems. Of course, you need to have a battery power to really power. Many of the robots in a full payload currently can operate for about 1 hour to 1 hour 30 minutes. That's 90 minutes max. And the charging, one-time charging, it takes about 5 to 6 hours. And of course, the software is very complex. So it has its own layered architecture. And there are some open source um, platform available when it comes to software development, when it comes to hardware development, and when it comes to in terms of the cognitive skill development also, there are different open source architectures available. And you can see the different parts of your humanoid system on the right side. I have taken Asimo as a reference because there are a lot of extensive work done by Honda, and this robot is capable of doing almost complex tasks. And it has its own inbuilt camera, and as I said earlier, body is made of lightweight magnesium alloy, so it has a good strength, but at the same time lightweight, and it has its own battery and gyroscope and acceleration sensors. And it also has at the wrist 6-axis force sensors, and many of the actuation is based on the DC servo motors or VLDCs. And on the torso, you can see 6-axis force sensors. And this is a very, very lightweight. It's almost weighing about 130 kg. And you can see that ECU, electronic control unit, which is basically the microcontroller based control system, wherein you have for leg, you have for head, you have for hand. For every major joints, you have the movements. You have dedicated ECUs, and that is coming from the master ECU. And all this is being coordinated by the master ECU through an internal communication system. And that's about in terms of the overall humanoid system. Now, we will go on to the different types of systems. See, in 1986, when Honda started, it was just the first step was on a two-legged robo for movement of material. There was no hand until it was in 1997 when they came out with the completely two-hand and two-legged robo, and that is a derivative or the foundation for the current generation of the Asimo. And it is advanced step in innovative mobility. That's the abbreviation for Asimo. And you can see, we talk about degree of freedom. How many degree of freedom I have, the more I have, the more flexibility or more complex activity I can do. Right now, you can see Honda has Asimo as 34 degree of freedom, and I have given the breakup of that: head as 3 and waist as 2, leg as about 12, arm as 14, and then hand as about 26. Now, this many number of degree of freedom gives you the different kind of flexibility. You can see also how the robot is docking self for getting charged for about 5 to 6 hours, and it can do very complex job, right from pushing a trolley, carrying on some payload, or in a restaurant serving with a tray and handing over that material to a human. And of course, to make prepare a coffee and just to pour some um, water or beverages into your glass, and that needs all your 5 fingers for both the sides, both the hands, to really be very smart enough to handle that. uh, so that's the kind of capability of Asimo. Now, HRP is basically uh, the derivative of this 1997. At that point in time, a lot of people started working on humanoid robot, and many of the things you can see, there is a lot of commonality from this particular framework. So HRP4, it also has its almost similar kind of architecture and framework compared to Asimo. And you can see it is capable of digging or operating a backhoe loader or excavator. It is just like acting like a labor. So to do some civil construction activity. And the second one is basically in terms of industrial activity for maintaining an equipment. And of course, on a third one, just in a case of hospital, how do we really manage in terms of delivering some things to patients? And of course, uh, the female version of the robot, they call Genard, and the male version, they call it Android. So you can see that both the versions are now available, and it is capable of doing very complex activity. Now, similar to HRP, Fubo started in Korea, and that's the third column. Fubo 2 has 38 degree of freedom. Now, the difference here is it can stand straight. Many of the robots, for maintaining the balance, uh, they just have some angular posture. But this robot can stand still. Similarly, Robo, which is on the right side extreme, Romeo, is capable of standing straight. That's the difference between the other Robo and the Romeo, as well as Fubo. Now, you can see the different robo families. One is the Atlas from Boston Dynamics. Basically, they started with the DARPA robotics challenge, and now they have quadruple and a biped robo. You might have seen a lot of videos what that quadruple robo can do from Boston Dynamics in YouTube. iCube is almost like a 5-year-old child, and it has almost 53 degree of freedom, and it's very flexible, and a lot of derivative projects has spun off from this platform, which initially started in Italy, and then many other European organizations, they started into that. In fact, Aldebaran, France also has some derivatives from here. Armor from Karlsruhe University of Technology from Germany is slightly different with 63 degree of freedom, and it is capable of doing almost all work at home, right from dishwashing, preparing the housekeeping, as well as in terms of cooking, complex cooking, and maintenance, complete work like a human. It can be able to replace. That's about the capability of armor. Now, with that, we just saw that the different types. Now, I'm just moving on to in terms of application. I have just highlighted very few, but there is a huge potential and a huge market for humanoid robot. As I said earlier, post-COVID, there is a lot of possibilities and opportunities in this area. So when we talk about healthcare, I think we have seen that the robots doing in some of our in Indian cities also, doing some diagnosis like temperature scanning, etc., and doing some kind of sanitization work also. And what you see here is basically doing some drug identification based on the prescription. And it takes the drug, it updates the system, and it delivers to the patient at the bed. And you can see on the top for the geriatric care. Right now, we see a lot of single old parents and who are having a lot of challenges. One is the fall. How do we do the fall detection? This one area being researched. But beyond that, how do we take care of their daily activities? And that is one thing. These robots are really, really very versatile and very intelligent enough, and even lifting them and taking to the restroom and taking care of them and helping them with food, serving them with food, all kinds of things. And sometimes it also helps them in doing some exercise. And if they are struggling, so it helps them in that. And on the bottom right, you can see for some of the children's, this particular robo helps in terms of doing some kind of, it's basically for slow learning and other things. It helps to accelerate the cognitive learning skill and through a gaming exercise. And in fact, one study says that if you do vaccination in the presence of a robo, child is feeling less painful and distress. That's based on some research. So that way, I think it becomes a really good, handy uh, uh, thing for uh, all the humankind. Now, from healthcare, now I move on to education. Now, education during this COVID, I think a lot of e-learning, virtual classrooms, but again, it has its own limitations. Now, compared to that e-learning or the virtual classrooms, now uh, humanoid robots can handhold them. That's the difference, and the different roles it can play. For example, it can become a teaching assistant, and it can also be a peer and do a co-learning. So as long as you are there, just like we used to have group study, something like that, similar to that, it just act like a peer, and it actually simulates that he is also, or he or she is also learning along with you, and try to teach as well as learn. And then it is also become a companion in case of any doubts and things like that, where to look for what kind of information. And in the meantime, also serving as an entertainer in between, and telepresence in terms of supporting education. It can also become a teaching platform, wherein in classrooms, it can help for different kinds of learning ability students. It can cater to them with a customized learning requirements. That's the kind of possibility of the humanoid robot on a positive side. Now, the third one I'm talking about is the social society use cases. Uh, they normally say that socially assistive robo as an assistive robo. The first use case has been started in Japan. Basically, you have a lot of people with age beyond 80s and 100s, and they are at single at home, and they need a lot of support, both psychologically, physiologically, and physically. So from that perspective, you can see the different kinds of activity a humanoid robo can do. And of course, if there is any fault detection, uh, alerting somebody there and taking some first aid activities and helping out with some medicines or food or whatever it is on a periodic basis. taking care of the elderly as well as patients at home. Of course, one use case I have not shown here is specifically for the kids, how it can really becoming a very, very uh, useful toy, wherein it can help them to develop the cognitive skill. Specifically for autistic children, I think there is a lot of study which say that the children prefer humanoid because they are very less intimidating and they predict better than a human. So that way, I think they are very comfortable with that, and that way, I think it is really a good application. So we can go on like that. So it's beyond this. In industry, there are many other applications like hospitality, etc., that I have not covered here. So now we saw all that very good, and things are there supported by nanotechnology because a lot of new advanced material is coming to picture, and the researchers are working on how do I reduce the weight, how do I reduce the power consumption, how do I eliminate the power consumption? Can I have some kind of energy being generated through some sources, and so that it is autonomous and it doesn't require any power? So these kind of areas is where a lot of research is going on, and I have put in top 10 areas which is major challenges. In fact, when I say challenge, it is also an opportunity for researchers and students to really look at it. And my only humble suggestion is there are a lot of use cases where you guys can really start working, like exoskeleton robo. Exoskeleton robo can be for full suit or half suit or even for hand or for leg or for hip, and that will take care of people who have lost their limbs in the accidents or they have some mobility problem. These kind of robots will come in handy for their mobility, specifically for the differently abled persons. Like that, I can go on a lot of use cases for socially relevant use cases where I think it benefits the society as well as you can make a money out of it. That's one way I just want you to look at it. In that perspective, look at these challenges. For example, new materials and fabrication technologies. Can I eliminate the gear system? Can I eliminate the motors? Can I eliminate the actuation system? Having a very simple bionic kind of actuation system. So like that, we have to explore. Of course, bio-inspired robots have come into picture, and there are a lot of work going on in actuations and autonomy, and specifically like a human-like perception with the computation skill and reasoning ability. And better also, as I said, better than lithium ion, lithium polymer. So how do I reduce that power bank size? And very effective communication. Now, the moment you have more robo, then how do the robo have to really communicate? There is a swarm of robots, right? Now, how do they really communicate and collaborate so that there is a perfect coordination when there is a complex task to be achieved? And of course, in terms of, as I said earlier, navigation in an unmapped environment, or if there is a map has failed, or it has lost the location, coordinates, how do you really recover? And of course, in terms of sensing emotions from the human and picking up the mind signals, how do I adapt to that situation? And a social robo in terms of social acceptance, and not to mention about the social misuse of the robots. Those things I think is major areas. Of course, under ethics, there is a lot of research going on. How do we make a ethically right kind of robo? And in terms of medical, I think the application is very, very huge, and where there is and in fact, there are a lot of uh, robots like I think Pepper and other robots. They are being employed as nurses, and they are available 24/7. And of course, for home nursing application or as a standalone prosthetic attachment. So these are the different challenges, and of course, AI I have not touched. AI is a ever evolving and kind of area, very sweet area for every one of us to really focus upon. Now, just like any other smart, intelligent, or any robots or any electronic gadgets, right? Now, these robots also are vulnerable. So one is when it comes, because it has its own software, it has its own firmware, and is also operating on robotic operating system. So whatever that is applicable for any computers, when people hack, or cyber security logic, or the cyber security this one requirement also applies to the humanoid robot. And of course, when it comes to autonomous robot, that's another area where it's very risky. One is if somebody takes control of that, so it should not be misused or cause harm to objects or people. And mobility, of course, in terms of mobility and any kind of uh, espionage activities by some mics not being protected or camera not being protected. And of course, network hacking is one area. How do I secure my robot? And of course, how do I back up my path planning or the mission management in case if there is getting corrupted or something goes wrong? So these are all one areas I think very important research areas for any researcher or academia to focus specifically in the humanoid, not only humanoid robot, even for the industrial robot. And with that, I just complete my session. So thank you for your patient listening.
Thank you so much, sir. Indeed, a pleasure listening to you. So I feel when I was in my college, it was just your company coming as probably the placement, and we look forward to you as that only. It's really a pleasure to see you live here and to talk about all this. It's really wonderful. And indeed, we, on behalf of all the colleges who are here, Seshasdripuram, third grade college, and everyone out there who have joined us, we wholeheartedly, tell you, be an example as you are for us, and be there always to guide the youth here. As when you are there, all the youth, all the participants are encouraged so much. And whatever, I heard from you today, being a commerce student myself, I feel technology make me fly high. And it was giving me goosebumps when I was, hearing about human robots, interaction, perception, so on and so forth. And definitely we are evolving, we're building a virtual layer, an unimaginable, imaginary, untapped, unbelievable virtual layer, which is definitely commanded by you. Thank you so much for today's session, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. And if there is any questions, you can shoot out. I can always respond whatever that I know.
Definitely, sir.
Wow, wow. Anyone, if they have any questions, they can unmute themselves and ask from sir, or they can just type in the chat. And we are blessed that Pon Mani Vanan sir has been with us, and such a wonderful session. This was really an eye-opener, and it was giving me goosebumps when you were talking about humanoids. I got a chance to meet Sophia in this February in ISB. Actually, I do deliver guest lectures in Indian School of Business in Mohali, in Punjab. So I got a chance to meet her. So it's wonderful, all kinds of humanoids you shared. It was a really wonderful session. Thank you for being with us, sir. And we're looking forward to much more. I will keep on bugging you on your WhatsApp. So, and I hope you will keep accepting everything that comes from our side with our gratitude. And we are blessed that you are with us. Thank you for such wonderful session. And let's have wonderful words from Dr. Shantanu as well.
Sir, there is a question from one of the participant, Dev Singh Thakur. Sir, is it safe to keep robots in educational institutes for maintaining cleanliness instead of daily wage workers? How safe it is?
Yes, it is 100% safe with the current humanoid robot. In fact, they are very, very smart in terms of avoiding obstacles and very, very safe. and with the current technology itself. In fact, there are some robots already being put into industrial use for industrial cleaning purpose also.
Okay, that was the only question. Thank you so much for your so wonderful talk. And we being from science background, we really feel how important it is to connect this robots, humanoids, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and everything, and make touch-free, or what you call touch-free, all the modes where at this COVID-19 we can understand how robots will play an important role to save the human lives.
Yes.
So we wholeheartedly thank you, sir, on behalf of Seshasdripuram Group of Institution, North Bangalore Science Forum, MentorX, Hover Robotics, Hoverboards, Indian Institute of Science Alumni Association, Karnataka Science and Technology Academy, Research Foundation of India. And we wish that once this COVID-19 crisis gets over, we meet you personally here at Center for Excellence at Seshasdripuram, MentorX and Hover Robotics, along with Dr. Nancy and Munish ji. We all will meet and we can mentor our young guys here so that they can do wonder.
It's a pleasure, and I look forward for any mentoring sessions. Definitely, I look forward to it.
I would love to add a point. Sorry to interrupt, Shantanu, sir. I would love to add a point and tell you, sir, it is a privilege that after you, during this conference only, with all this team keynote speaker, today, in all the 3 days, we are, felicitating one child prodigy. And today we have Dipanshu, Master Dipanshu Parashkar. I would love to tell you that he's the India's youngest cybersecurity author, a TEDx speaker, ethical hacker of India at the age of 17. So now you can see, it gives me goosebumps hearing your presentation. And when I read the profile of our next young lad, I feel that this is the future generation. The future is here. When each one coming from vast experience and people rightly, as Dipanshu is there with us. So they just need your blessings, your encouragement. And if they get the right guidance, trust me, there's a long way out. So just be with us, sir. We seek your blessings always. As rightly put by Shantanu, sir, he's there to welcome all of us. It is us now who have to just be there and, create ripples of change with Center of Excellence.
God bless Dipanshu and for your
greetings, sir. Really, thank you so much,
mission.
sir.
And definitely we need more Dipanshu in India.
Yeah, you'll be hearing it if possible. He'll be rather showing us practical aspect also today. So if possible, you're most welcome if you can spare out 5-10 minutes to hear him.
Yes. No.
Yeah, because it is incredible, sir, when people like you, veterans like you, are there to support youth of the nation. Nothing like it. It's a dream come true.
Yes, that is one of my, I think, I feel that whatever we have learned, we have to give something to the society back. I think this is one way by which we do. So we do a lot of other activities of my professional on a weekend, and we ensure that people's livelihood and all that, we try to do something there, and we drive down to remote areas where there is no access, no privilege for them. So we try to provide all that support that is required at a small scale. So that way, I think my kind of this one passion also aligns with Mentorex. So thank you. And
Wonderful. That's super great, sir. Thank you for being with us. And we are soon going to take you on board with Mentorex as our honorary mentor in the corporate advisory board. And that would be our privilege if you will accept our invite. And obviously with us, you would be part, we would love to have you as a part of our Center of Excellence, as well as North Bangalore Science Forum at Seshasdripuram Group of Colleges and Seshasdripuram Educational Trust. So
in fact, we do an event called Tech GM. I don't know how many of you might have heard about it. That was my brainchild. Like, I have a customer problem, an industry problem. Why not I take that to the academia? So it's an online platform. We have close to about 650 colleges, and 25,000 students participate annually. And from that, we post almost close to about 100 problem statements. It's all real live industry problems, nothing of project kind of things. That problem, if we resolve, it is going to help that industry and that particular market. So we have been doing that for the last 3 years, and this time being COVID has come. So the POC session, which was supposed to happen in May, so we are planning to do that in next 2 months by virtually, and then go through the grand finale. So there, I think we have been connected with these education institutions and all the different IITs, NITs, and all the different engineering institutions throughout Pan India.
Wow, wow, wonderful. So now your collaborations have already expanded with MentorX and Seshasdripuram Group. We would love to serve you in whatever way. Seshasdripuram Group has a very wonderful vision already into education from 9 decades. And we at MentorX, we are into 32 countries, touching lives of millions, and soon it's going to be billions. So in whatever way we can serve your mission and vision, we are readily available 24/7. So thank you.
Thanks.
And I'm going to personally connect tonight with you, or maybe tomorrow on this note. And yes, tomorrow, if you can sir spare another 5-10 minutes between 4:30 to 6:30, we have valedictory session and honoring ceremony. It would be our privilege to honor you tomorrow 5-10 minutes.
I would love to, but the problem is tomorrow I'm committed to some manufacturing roundtable.
Okay.
As part of the panel. This is also virtual. That goes from 2:30 to 5:30.
Okay, no problem. If in between 4:30,
but I will try to see some video if it is available, and then go through that.
Yes, for between 4:30 to 6:30, 5 minutes if you do come in. Yes. Otherwise, we are going to send you an email then.
I'll just see if I can squeeze 5 minutes and come and see.
Thank you, sir. With folded hearts, full of gratitude towards you. Thank you. And now, before I am a part of National Startup Policy Committee, so I right now have an invitation for that. Even I'm heading to that. Now the show is with two visionaries, Dr. Shantanu Das and Dr. Nancy Juneza. I am just a face. They are both the visionaries. And Dipanshu Parashar, wholeheartedly, wonderfully welcome you at the platform. And I'm sure the audience would be mesmerized listening to you. And later I'm going to hear you on the recording. So let's welcome Dipanshu Parashar with a huge round of applause, with all the warmth, all the gusto, and energize him, and he energizes us. Let's hit it. And guys, from my side, farewell for today. I see you tomorrow at 10:55 a.m. And as I'm headed towards national policy for the startups, we'll share the insights tomorrow, whatever is happening in the startup arena. Thank you. Stay tuned.
Thank you. Thank you.
Greetings, everyone. Really, thank you so much, Nancy ma'am, Munish sir, Shantanu sir. And really, thank you so much, sir, for your kind blessings. Like, it is my pleasure. And really, thank you so much to Seshasdripuram Institutions and MentorX, sir, for providing me this wonderful opportunity to share my opinion.
I'll just cut short you. Let me introduce you, then you please go ahead. I know you are excited, and we love wonder kids like you.
So see, this is the difference when they are stepping the ladder of success. They don't want the honors, they don't want recognition, they just want the platforms. So that is the true recognition of a aspirant, a youth aspirant. So Dipanshu, over to Shantanu sir, as he want to introduce you in his most humble way.
Sure, ma'am. Really, thank you so much, sir.
Yeah. So Dr. Nancy madam, it's really wonderful that you have introduced us with Dipanshu Parashar, who is currently India's youngest cybersecurity authors. Youngest cybersecurity authors at 16. TEDx speaker and a renowned Indian ethical hacker. Wow, Indian ethical hacker. Dipanshu has been listed in top 5 youngest Indian influencers and is an Indian representative in International Youth Council adopted by United Nations. He has authored 2 books exclusively on cybersecurity and ethical hacking, which has been forwarded by world-famous cybersecurity lawyers Pawan Dugal and Dr. Harshvardhan, Minister of Science and Technology, India. Dipanshu is the founder of the Cyber Agents, a specially designed community platform dedicated to cybersecurity researchers and hacking enthusiasts, and where a group of professionals is helping cyber victims all across the globe for free. He is also actively running virtual cyber labs, which focuses on cybersecurity and basic life education targeting young students. What an incredible platform you have reached, epitome of growth, and at the age of 16, you have been represented as top 5 youngest Indian, not only Indian influencer. That word is the key word. You influence people. So welcome to This platform we welcome wholeheartedly on behalf of 90-year-old Seshasdripuram Educational Trust, Seshasdripuram First Grade College, North Bangalore Science Forum, MentorX Global, Hover Robotics, Hoverboats India, Indian Institute of Science, Alumni Association, Karnataka Science and Technology Academy, Research Foundation of India, New Delhi, and of course your mentor, Dr. Nancy Juneja. So welcome, Dipanshu Parasar. Field is yours. You enchant us like a magician. Over to you.
Really, thank you so much, sir, and thank you so much, ma'am, for providing this opportunity to connect with so many young minded people who have been in the way of entrepreneurship, or they have been just creating few of the revolutions in India. Really, thank you so much. I have been listening the whole session since today's morning itself, and really like the kind of a knowledge which I was even getting through. So that was really incredible, kind of a very rare and very exclusive information. So with well guys, I'm here as well with the same motive that I can just provide you something which is really rare, which is really exclusive, and which is not threatening, but a kind of an good information which will be helping you to create the digital world more safer, more secure, and how you can just get up an idea like how many people are actually viewing you, how many people are actually keeping an eye over you, even you are not aware about that. So we will be discussing about those two people. And before starting out any session, I would just like to comment out that there are only two peoples. I just wanted to clear this. The one who are aware that they have been hacked, and the other one who are not aware they also have been hacked. So, well, we will be discovering how these people have been hacking us, how I will be keeping a kind of a good amount of practical sessions as well, so that we all can understand the way cybersecurity is working, how this digital era is actually getting revolutionized by all these kind of latest technologies. So, shall we just proceed on then?
Definitely.
Yes, wait a second, Dipanshu. Shantanu sir, if we can put Dipanshu in the spotlight, he would be visible to all. Kindly do the spotlight on Dipanshu sir. Or make Mentrax Global a co-host, I will do it.
Done.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. That's nice. So let me put you in the Dipanshu, so that because I want you to charge up people. Wow, there you go. Yes. Go and hit it. The
Sure,
platform is yours.
So welcoming you guys that today we will be talking about cyber security in this modern era and how everything is working in this digital era with the latest upcoming technologies. I am Dipanshu Parashar, which have been very well explained by Shantanu sir, a good amount of introduction. And now let's start with something. Yeah. So we will be starting with what this term hacking is all about. Like before understanding hacking, there is a need that everything is connected to internet. I don't need to make you explain how internet is actually working, because this all sessions were so technical that you all are aware. Even when we are connected, when you are watching me, when you are watching this complete slideshow, you are also connected to a network. So exploitation of any device which is connected to any network, it is called hacking. And that's not a definition which has been copied from somewhere. It is what my opinion is all about. And then as for me, there are two major types of hacking. The first thing which we actually consider as a white hat ethical hacking, or a kind of an hacking which have been utilized with a good intention, with a good deeds. And the second one lies to a black hat hacking, what this black hat hacking is all about. So when actually hackers are hacking something, they usually do it for the major two intentions. The first thing is either involving few of the monetary frauds that usually considered in the black hat hacking. Possibly you all must have heard someone giving you a short brief over their story that someone called them being a representative of Paytm, PayPal, Amazon, and they told them that your account needs a KYC or your credit card is being getting expired. So will you be able to do the KYC right now over the call itself? We will be providing you the discount and so much luring offers which are actually provided by all these black hat hackers over the call itself. And the people who are not aware with the cyber security basic education, they really lacks upon this movement, and that's how India is actually getting degraded when it comes to the cyber crimes. That's how the cyber crimes is increasing day by day. So just due to the lack of awareness. internet. I just wanted to explain you from the very basics that how internet has been divided into two major categories, which possibly you are not aware of. The first thing is usable internet. That is actually consisting of only 15% of internet, my friend, and the rest 85% of internet is something which you are not aware till now. The 85% of internet, which is known as dark net or deep net, which is actually something inaccessible to anyone, not me, not you. We can actually access it by using few of the best softwares, by using few of the tools, and by using few of the accessories which actually required to unlock this particular section of internet, that is of almost 85%. So whatever you have been doing, if you are watching a video on YouTube, if you are surfing over Instagram, if you are visiting or scrolling up your profile on Facebook, that's all is actually getting considered in that usable internet. We all are having up that amount of accessibility on internet. So this is a kind of a kind of a good amount of statistics which I just needed to tell you. And the first part is that darknet is the rest 85% of internet where people being anonymous. Anonymity means that no one is actually aware who are you, from where you are belonging, what's your age, what's your gender. Nothing is actually getting visible to any of your audience, and that's how you just cover a mask of anonymity. So in this particular darknet section, the 85% of internet is actually full of illegal works like child trafficking, bank accounts hacking, spoofing, drug trafficking, smuggling, etc. So this is how internet is also a boon as well as a bane. Similar to just taking up a quick example, every coin has a two faces. Similar to that of internet, similar to that of blockchain, similar to that of AI as well as of cyber security. We will be discovering that each and everything. And till now you are already aware now that darknet or deepnet is something which you should not be visiting on. So even if you are having a access, even if you are getting to know that how you can access into darknet, how you can see all these trafficking going on, you should not be doing that, because that is really an offense under the IT law of India as well. So now let's come to cyber security, how this cyber security has been revolving, and I will be sharing my experience as well with you. But before that, let's have a quick glance over what these in past few years, how cyber security has been evolved. This is something which I just included as a kind of in statistics. So there were over more than around 300 million data records lost or stolen since 2013 till March 2015. Okay, let's leave the slide. You all are aware about the recent Twitter hack, where Bill Gates account, where Barack Obama account, where Steve Jobs account, like all those Twitter famous personalities accounts got hacked. And the hackers who hacked into their Twitter accounts were actually demanding Bitcoin monies, and they were claiming that as soon as you will be providing them Bitcoin, till now you are aware what is blockchain, what is Bitcoin. So as soon as you will be providing them Bitcoin, they will be making your money double. It's similar to kind of a Lakshmi Chat fund, but definitely it was something which was really unexceptional. And these hackers made into their Twitter account, and unfortunately, none of the person was actually aware. And within a single night consisting of majority 8 hours, within 8 hours, the amount of revenue which these black hat hackers generated just by bypassing the firewalls, just by breaking into the securities of Twitter main account, these people generated a revenue of more than 800 crores within 8 hours, right? So like around 100 crores within a month, within a single hour. And that's how within 8 hours they were already billionaires. But fortunately nothing is actually hidden on internet, fortunately. And that's why the mastermind behind this complete Twitter hack actually got arrested recently by CIA, that is Central Intelligence Agency of America. They really well did their job, and that's how these kind of rackets are getting degraded, slowing down. But yet again, just due to the lack of cybersecurity education, each and everything is actually getting degraded or getting increased with a very slow pace. So we will be discovering about each and everything. And yeah, so you can have up a look over there. Now let's start something with the hacking common attacks. What these hacking common attacks, which I will be actually highlighting in this particular session. So coronavirus, I would be majority be, let's talk about the coronavirus, how this coronavirus or how this lockdown has impacted the cyber security status in India, not only in India, but all across those 206 countries in the world. who have been facing a lot of scams, who have been facing a lot of industrial issues in this lockdown period. So coronavirus has brought the ways for hackers to gather your personal information by using fake email templates and pretending them to be officials. They are monitoring on your activities. Okay. So the first attack which we would be talking about in this complete scenario is email spoofing. I will be showing you the practical. Then secondly, we will be actually understanding SMS or call bombing, again a practical. And third, Bravo, again a practical of telemarketing fraud. These all are the frauds which have been running since the last decade, and they have already established the roots in India. None of the authorities actually taking care of all these three major attacks, which are the source of all these black hat hackers to generate revenue in seconds. This is how this all things are working. So let's start with this. World Health Organization scams. This is really interesting. Let me just introduce you. World Health Organization, of course, a United Nations body. So they are responsible for monitoring all those health organizations across the globe, right? And we all are aware about WHO. Now what these hackers were doing, just by taking up a good amount of challenge of making this coronavirus useful for them, right? All these black hat hacking rackets, what they were doing actually, they created email templates and they were sending mails to each and everyone. I was even received mail, and that's what this screenshots from my mail actually. So these were the screenshots which I take, and the point is these black hat hackers were actually sending all these messages in bulk mailing to all those people who have subscribed to any kind of a website, any kind of a YouTube channel. They usually target in bulks, right? And that's how what it would be actually focusing on is, as soon as I will be clicking on safety measures, this kind of an email template was redirecting me to a phishing website. What this phishing website is all about. Possibly you all are aware about what is phishing, but just giving you a short brief within a line. Phishing is a kind of a technology in which we replicate something. There is a Facebook login page that's absolutely accessible to facebook.com. And I would be just replicating that and would be posting it to suppose the cyberagents.com. So as soon as you will be just going to the cyberagents.com, you will be seeing exactly copied Facebook login page, but with only a single modification. And this modification exists as a login panel. As soon as you will be just submitting your ID and password, these ID and passwords will be getting registered via my account, and your account is actually hacked. This is how everything is working in the digital space. Well, there is a term which I would like to introduce you here. This term is known as social engineering. Social engineering, well, this is not something related to any kind of a science background. This social engineering has a very good impact when it is considered to be a cyber psychology concept. In this cyber psychology concept, what people have been doing is we target people in such a way that they will be prone to be our victim. Suppose you must have actually forwarding the messages on your WhatsApp on many of the occasional events, such as like Independence Day, that just put up your name here, and this would be making a kind of a good HTML page by showing Dipanshu is wishing you happy Independence Day. And just with this motive, we usually forward these messages. But with your single one forward, you are actually making others, two people lives in risk. So, well,
Kumari.
Yeah. So, well, this is how everything is working. And now what the point is, as soon as I will be clicking on any kind of a suspicious link over there, which I am not aware that this is suspicious, I will be hacked. This is as simple as that. So without moving towards the further slide, why not to have a good amount of practical right away? Let's see how this email spoofing is actually working. Okay. So can any one of you, Munisa, if any one of you can provide me your Gmail ID, not the password, just your email ID. Anyone?
This is incredible. I guess who want to try this out? Shantanu
Anyone?
sir or Dr. Jindal?
Okay, take it.
Sure, sir.
SFGC.
So we are hacking Shantanu sir's mail.
No, sir. I would definitely be not doing something which is in
No,
danger scope.
Yeah.
Just a kind
Anyway,
of.
I am in safer hand of Dipanshu, so I don't mind. You can take SFGC,
Sir,
SFGC,
yes, sir.
GC, Bengaluru, BENGALURU. Yes, at
At the rate,
gmail.com.
okay, sure, sir. So guys, in front of you, I am in no way having any kind of an access. I'm just having the email ID, and we can definitely capture any kind of an email ID via any form. We all are aware of how to just ask for an email ID, and I will be sending it to my email ID that's here. So you can see the cyberagents@gmail.com. I'm currently logging into this, and let's see what happens. So subject testing mail. Yeah, let's make it congratulations. Okay, and I just wrote down a simple letter. You have been hired. Okay, and what I would be doing is clicking on send. Email sent successfully. Okay, we would be actually, since this is a kind of an PHP script, a lot of programming have been done behind this at a back end. This would be taking up a bit time, but let's see whether this would be arriving in my email with sir's email ID or not. Let's check. Let's check it. Okay, so it's right away in spam, and let's see what this actually is all about. So Shantanu sir. Okay, so I actually entered the name from name Shantanu sir, and that's why congratulations. Let's see over there. You have been hired. We can even remove this message and just see from Shantanu sir, SFGC Bangalore@gmail.com. Well, in no way I was having any access to his email ID, but I was able to send an email to any one of you with his own email ID. And that's how the industrial frauds are taking place. Mostly what happens is a black hat hacker usually takes down, usually just enter into any kind of an organization, just take down, suppose as of my organization, someone, any kind of a black hat hacker will be using @ the cyberagents.com. In industries, people have been using their own custom domain as their email IDs. As for an example, Dipanshu @ the cyberagents.com is my email ID. So what this particular person would be doing, he would be using my email ID to actually get connected with any of the one who is working into this organization, and they can manipulate any text with my own email ID. And whether it's something fired, whether it's hired, whether it's anything, and this is how most of the frauds are taking place. Let me just share you one of the experience. I got up an opportunity to be a speaker in one of the EPC event, that is Electronics Export Community of India by government, and there are a lot of leading entrepreneurs were there, and their major concern was that how these hackers have been hacking into their bank accounts. Well, this was nothing any kind of an technical, but how these hackers were doing is they were mailing anyone, any authentic person who is in touch with this organization with the leader's email ID. So suppose Dipanshu @the cyberagents.com, and they were claiming that kindly send me 20,000 rupees urgently and I will return back to you. Okay, and that's when they are just clicking over send. This particular ID actually just received by the person, just by considering that this particular mail has been sent to me by Dipanshu without even a discussion. These people were transferring 20,000 rupees anonymously, and as soon as they are just receiving money, boom, they are disappeared. So this is how ethical hacking have been taking place when it comes to email hijacking. Now well, let's move forward. This particular message can definitely be removed by changing or by testing it to multiple times. As soon as we will be just creating few of the more limits, this particular thing would be getting replaced, right? So we would not be able to see any kind of a spam message as well then. So now let's again move forward to our next particular stuff, and that is SMS and call bombing. Well, this is one of my favorite topic, guys. So destroying memory allocated space by sending a lot of SMS and calls on a particular number as a prank or to irritate that person. This is not considered to be a crime, but yet this is one of the most dangerous attacks. Well, how this is working is, each and every mobile device, each and every computer device, you all are aware with hard drives, right? What this hard drive is all about. Similarly, in your internal storage of phone, yeah, any kind of in your device, each device has its own internal storage. And this internal storage is getting occupied by SMS, by call records, by your galleries, by your videos. What these hackers have been doing, they are actually trying to crash the device. They are actually trying to either crash my laptop, they are either trying to crash my phone when there is something sensitive in any kind of an device which they needs to be removed directly. What these hackers have been doing, they are targeting my account. They are targeting my phone number with all those spamming, and they just put my number over there. Just within a single click, they receive a lot of messages. I will be started receiving a lot of messages. And unfortunately, the memory allotted, the memory space which has been allotted to my device will be getting crashed. And that's how any kind of a device, whether it's iPhone, whether it's Android, these all will be getting or will be ending up to a limit. When all the internal storage is getting full, your device is crashed. This is something which can be even used ethically, which I will be explaining you how we use ethically. But before that, again, let's have a practical over this. Okay, so let me just, yeah, as of now. So sir, if anyone, if possible, well, it would be requiring me a phone number. But yeah, so Nancy ma'am, if possible, can I just show it over your number?
Yeah, sure, you can.
So guys, in front of you, I'm just having my phone, and well, I have been joined via laptop. I'm not touching my laptop at any point of time. I'm just doing this just to show you how easy hacking is when someone is actually aware about that. Since just due to the technologies rising day by day, hacking is actually getting easier in terms of technologies, in terms of the tools which have been created by the young minds, right? So just anywhere from anywhere in the part of this world, what I will be just simply doing is I will be just entering into one of the application in my phone, right? Well, definitely I can just teach you since this is completely unethical. So what I would be just simply doing is, yeah. So Mama, I'm just taking up your number as of just a testing purpose.
Yeah. I must say this is, actually ringing the bell in everyone's and increasing the curiosity level. So let's see what next in store here.
Well, the messages have been started sending, and let's see what kind of an messages ma'am would be receiving. I am none of the person from any of the corporate organization, and let's see what all those messages content will be. These would be mostly like a kind of an OTPs, because they all have been just sent with a motive to crash up your phone's memory. Well, I have just only limited it to 5 to 6 SMS. And the worst part is that I can just increase it to 150. And within the times of 2 to 3 attacks, the complete phone can be crashed out.
Have you sent it already?
Yeah, ma'am, definitely.
Okay. Just give me a moment and just give me a moment.
Till the time being, I can just explain you what actually was actually happening in the backend procedure. Well, that is something even important. Along with the practical, there is a need to understand the theory which has been going behind this practical. What actually just taken place is these OTPs which I have just sent to Nancy ma'am, these all were the OTPs from many of the corporate organizations, which are definitely anonymous for me. Like, I'm not aware what kind of messages she would have been receiving now. But now what would be happening is, as soon as I just clicked over the send button, as soon as I just started doing the attack, what happened was these particular messages were actually getting captured directly via their server. And why these messages were getting captured via their server? Because their server were actually having the lack of security issues. They were having lack of securities, and that's why any kind of a black hat hacker, I'm not a black hat though, guys, but anyways, I started misconfiguring their web server and I started sending the OTPs. So, ma'am, have you received those OTPs?
Yep. I have got, yeah. So is it by you? So there are so many, but
there would be probably 5 to 6 at maximum, because I have not done anything more than that.
Wow. Yeah. So we have get access to exclusive session by business, our industrial digital transformation, something by Pre-Sharad offer, something by lifestyle showroom also.
Definitely,
But
ma'am.
is it by you?
Definitely, ma'am. It is by me.
Wow. Yeah. So there's so many of them.
The
Yeah.
point is, guys, in no way I am having any kind of an access in their lifestyle store. In no way I am having any kind of an access to all those corporate organizations which were delivering those messages to ma'am. But yet again, I was able to do that just because these people were having a lack of securities in their servers. And well, they have been working on that, so there is no need to worry at all. And well, again, this is how these hacking attacks have been taking place in real life. This is how ethical hacking is completely different from what this black hat hacking is. As soon as I will be reporting to all these organizations that that sir, your server is misconfigured, or I was able to send any of the messages from your server, this is considered ethical hacking, because I was able to actually report them back, and I was the person who helped them out to secure their web server. So this is considered into black hat hacking. But the thing which I just did to ma'am was should be considered as a black hat hacking, right? So well, again, just sharing up the screen, and the final and the most important practical, which I just established its roots directly from the beginning of this decade. And this is yet again something which these hackers have been generating revenue, tons of money within single nights. And this is known as telemarketing fraud. Yeah. So telemarketing frauds are of many types. Let me explain you with a scenario. Many times you visit few websites and a pop-up arrives. Pop-up something looks like this, right? Asking you that your computer has been infected from virus and it is needed to be restored, which their technical support team can fix it. Well, being honest, guys, unfortunately, most of the attackers who have been creating in this telemarketing fraud are from India, and most of the victims are foreigners, right? But it can be just directly depicting two of the major things, that Indians are really far away smarter than what these people have been doing. They have been creating these kind of pop-ups and have been using these kind of social engineering techniques to generate tons of revenue. I would be showing you how this actually works. But before that, let's understand the concept which is actually going behind this telemarketing fraud. So let's check how this works. So this is actually working on a JavaScript code. So if you are a technical background, if you are belonging to a technical background, JavaScript is simply a programming language which is used in creating websites, similar to HTML, similar to PHP. But this particular JS is responsible for creating such alert or warning boxes, right? And using JavaScript and a toll-free number, people view this type of messages, right? And then just to fix their blue screens and computer, then they usually call on the provided tech support number, which I will be showing you. And this is how they actually get scammed. Scammers take a remote connection and then install a normal antivirus software or clear the disk spaces, which is pretended to be like pro virus removal. While payment procedures, since it is on remote connection, card details are visible. Let me just explain you with a quick example. I would not be doing you a kind of a good practical. I would not be making anyone the victim right now, but I am showing you all those complete procedures which all these black hat hackers have been doing, and making this complete ethical hacking such a wonderful field, uh, piece of garbage where we should not be actually focusing upon. So let's do that now. Just for this particular session, I have created this particular page, a normal website page. And as soon as I will be sending this particular page to anyone, or I will be uploading it, I will be hosting it to any of the web server. As soon as I will be providing the website link to any of the person, any of the victim, which I need to make my victim, of which through which I need to generate revenue. As soon as this person will be clicking over that, this would be a kind of a page which would be appearing in front of him. Okay, and let's check. Yeah. So this is a kind of a page. This is only one kind of a page which I have just shown you right now. There are tons of pages, and I will be just showing you how all these pages have been created over there. Let's see what this particular page says. Just see this, just notice this. As soon as my cursor is moving away from this alert box, my cursor is getting disappeared. Okay, this is one of the best feature which all these black hat hackers have been using, because just to confuse their victims. And now what this particular page says, a suspicious connection has breached and accessed your login, banking details, and personal data. Okay. And your TCP connection, something very technical, so that the person who is reading this will be mesmerized, will be something who will be getting threatened that my computer has been put over risk and your personal information seems to have been leaked. And here comes the major role. Immediate action required, and this particular toll-free number. Okay, so these hackers have been purchasing these toll-free numbers, which are really easy to purchase. And Microsoft has tried to seal the penetration in your hard drive. Please contact a Microsoft certified expert urgently to prevent data crash. Please call on this particular number to get a free diagnosis by Microsoft support agents. Now, let's have a quick recap of what I just explained you regarding cyber psychology. In cyber psychology, if I will be doing this particular stuff on in any of the Indian, right? In each and every house, there is one of that engineering guy, right? This particular person, whosoever is my victim, will be showing it this computer to the engineer, and he will be within seconds will be recognizing that this is a kind of a JavaScript generated page, right? But if I will be using this kind of a technique to any of the foreigner, these people are usually just like having out a plenty of money, and that's why they are really prone to be attacked. What these people would be actually doing, they will be without any delay, they would be calling over this number, and I will be telling them, just in $2, okay, just in 120 rupees actually, I will be making your computer absolutely fine and your computer absolutely virus free. Now what I would be doing is, I would be actually installing, you would be taking the remote connection via any of the software which are available in the market, as of AnyDesk, as of TeamViewer, you all are aware about them. I will be taking a remote connection, will be installing a normal antivirus, will be playing a good amount of CMD controls, and they will be thinking that their computer is actually getting virus free now. But here the major role come into play. Right now what would be happening is, I will be telling them that this is my payment gateway, this is the payment page, checkout page, where you need to pay $2. Okay, fortunately, India is having a good amount of banking authorized system, that as soon as someone tries to hack into your bank account or tries to debit money from your account, you receive OTPs. This is known as two-factor authentication, right? To cross-check with your OTPs, to cross-check with the registered database. But when it is actually covered to the foreigners, even US is not having implementation of two-factor authentication, right? So what it would be doing is actually, as soon as they will be filling the card details, I will be taking a screenshot, I will be clicking a photograph, and what would be happening, all these credit card details are visible to me. I can do unlimited shopping, I can do any kind of stuff from their own bank account, and they would not be even getting a single hint that who was actually doing that, right? Because anyone who is doing this kind of stuff, who is doing telemarketing fraud, they are capable enough to hide their identities, and this is how most of the hackers have been generating revenues, and this is what known as tech support scam as well. So telemarketing fraud, tech support scams, these all are something similar to that. There have been tons of pages, right? Let's have up a look over there. There have been tons of pages. I can just show you one to or more pages, and what this would be doing is, just see, this is another web page with similar looking like this. Here is the toll free number, this is one of the page, this is second of the page, and see, as soon as I will be clicking on okay, this is something which is getting free security message. Yeah, please call the number provided as soon as possible. You will be, if you are able to listen that particular voice, I have actually implemented one of the kind of an auto-generated computer voice behind this particular web page. So as soon as someone will be landing over this web page, this computer voice will be getting operated automatically, and this particular person would be in threatened that whether his computer has been actually put up over the risk or not. And just because of this kind of an alert pop-up box, they all are actually getting scammed. And that is how I will be able to regenerate the revenue which I needed to. So, well, guys, this is how these tech support scams have been working. And now the majority, like in these complete scenarios we have been discussing, and like such a kind of an amazing information have been providing to us from the last 2 days, and we all have witnessed how this technology have been changing. Hacking is not limited, cyber security is not limited. the cloud services which are running right now, the blockchain which is running right now, the blockchain which are rising day by day, the cryptocurrencies which are actually rising day by day, these all are working on internet, and anything which is connected to internet, they all can be exploited, they all can be hacked. Even if your phone is right away, like you are having your phone, if I want, I can definitely access your phone without even your permission. That's absolutely considered to be a black hat, but your complete galleries, your complete videos, your complete call logs will be visible to me. There have been tons of videos on YouTube which you can see that how these hackers have been working over there. This I just meant to show you, not to threat you, not to scare you, but there is only one thing which you need to take care upon. Be as much preventive as you can, because if you have posted once on internet, there are 99% chances that this particular section, whatever you have posted on internet, will be getting copied in another corner of the internet. As soon as you just need to put your okay, let's do one thing after this particular session, just ending this complete session with a short practical. And this practical is, what you need to do tonight is just take two Android phones, put like open Facebook in one of your Android phone, keep it aside, and in the second phone, call to anyone, okay, to your friend, and talk him about any kind of an Amazon product which is available on Amazon, right, with the another Android phone. And after 10 minutes, or between these 10 to 15 minutes, you will be able to see a pop-up, or you will be able to see the advertisements of this same product which you were having a discussion with your friend about. These kind of an advertisements will be shown to that device which you haven't even touched, which you haven't even contacted, which you haven't used till now. That was just kept aside just by opening Facebook. And that, the point is, Facebook or any kind of a technology is even tracking your audio. They are tracking your visuals, they are tracking even each and every kind of a stuff which you are doing. The Google is actually aware when you are free, Google is aware when you are able to cook, Google is aware when you are driving and where you are driving. So the point is, just not in the sake of being social media influencer, try to protect your identities, because now the life has been put on digital era, and as soon as just with your single mistake, your complete life can be ruined. So really thank you so much, guys. That's what I really wanted to say about, really be a good netizen, and all the very best.
Wow. I guess I am totally spellbound, sir. I feel Shantanu sir wants to say, or I should take the lead.
Better you go ahead and see.
Wonderful. Incredible.
Superb.
I'll say incredible, Dipanshu Prashkar. This is the word for you. Hats off to you. As you know, not just, the young people, the youth here, all the participants, all the faculty members who are witnessing this. This is the practical aspect that you have shown today. Very informative talk. Thanks for all the awareness, all the great insights that you've shared. It was giving goosebumps when you were asking for my number or Shantanu sir email. It was like, what he gonna do now? And trust me, this technology Confluence, global Confluence, since 2 days has seen much. And this is icing on the cake when, youth of your age are coming and giving so much. Amazing. Hats off to you. I would love to hear from you. What made you come till here? What kind of analytical thinkings, design thinking, the buzzwords we use in the conference? Are you facing all that? Are you working on that?
Well, ma'am, firstly, like being honest, like there have been ultimate support of the people like you. There have been ultimate blessings with all those mentors. Mukesh sir provided me an opportunity to connect with you, and really thank you so much, sir. So again, the point is, ma'am, like I have been getting in touch with these people, have been discussing all these kind of things. The point is, similarly, just to understand, I'm like really proud that I understood one thing at a very early age, and that is learning should not be stopped at any point of time. So well, that's something which I have been doing really, like till day nights, or have been creating the journeys, have founded two organizations over there. So well, really thank you so much. It's something, ma'am, the community is actually giving back to the person who have been doing well to the community.
Trust me, your session is the cherry on the cake today. It is incredible. I would love Dr. Jindal to speak upon the founding president of MentorX Global, and you would love to know Dipanshu. He's the pioneer in technology, and you would know how he at your age was also doing something incredible like you are doing. So over to you, Dr. Jindal.
Wow, Dipanshu, it's incredible how you spoke about. I'm a fan of, too much into Hollywood. Because since my childhood, Hollywood burned the passion inside me towards science fiction. That is how, despite being a commerce graduate, that I'm into robotics.
Yes, sir.
Full of life, I have studied bachelor's of commerce, master's of MBA in finance, MBA in psychology. Then I'm a chartered accountant. But then I did PhD in artificial intelligence and robotics, and now make robots. And this is my 9th venture in a row. But my learning has never stopped. Till date I'm learning, and I'm glad that you have learned this early on, that learning shall never stop. So be on to it. And when you were talking about all the darknet and all, I still watch so many these Hollywood movies and series where they talk about darknet. This is available, this is happening, and the hackers are accessing it. So I'm glad that you're bringing that kind of knowledge to India, especially Indian diaspora. They lack the basics in these things. I assure you, if we do survey of 100 people today, not even 10 of them would be knowing what darknet is.
Yes, sir.
So I'm glad that you're talking about. We would be lining up many more things for you with us at MentorX and at Seshasdripuram. We have a center of excellence with Seshasdripuram First Grade College, Yelanka, Newtown, Bangalore.
Yes,
so we would be lining up many more opportunities. You keep rising, and I can see a thorough gentleman, Mr. Mukesh Bhatnagar, who loves you very dearly. He has joined especially for your session. Sir, Mukesh sir, I envy you. We are doing this conference from yesterday. You never joined for us. Now Dipanshu is here and you joined for him. Right? This is not fair. When we are doing something, you have to join for us as well. Since yesterday morning we're doing it. And if I don't see you tomorrow, sir, if I don't see you tomorrow, then you take it that I got offended. If I don't see you tomorrow in the conference, then I'm offended with you. It's not fair. It's a joint initiative. Unmute.
So you have to unmute. A few words from you, sir.
Few words from you, sir, for your dear Dipanshu.
Yeah, I met Dipanshu in the World Book Fair around 3 years back. And just seeing him and his parents, I guess that he has something special. Today, I feel he is the future Bill Gates of India. And his session today is superb. Superb. I have no words to say. And Dr. Munish, I have some problem in my instrument. So that's why I'm using the instrument of my son. So that's the problem. But superb session. God bless you, Dipanshu. God bless you.
Really, thank you so much, sir.
And you keep rising in life. We are sure that together we are going to explore many more opportunities. So thank you for being with us.
Really, thank you so much, sir.
Great to have you. Congratulations. Tomorrow, be there with us for valedictory session and honoring ceremony. It would be an honor to honor you. A young lad. I can see my reflection in you. I was that enthusiastic when you were. I started working at 14. And since then on, it's been 24 years. I'm working with 9 ventures in 12 different domains. And I see that I'm seeing you surpassing that. So stay charged up and do that.
Well, really, thank you so much, sir. And really, thank you so much, ma'am, for providing this kind of an opportunity to connecting with such leading entrepreneurs of the country. So that was an incredibly kind of a learning experience for me as well. Really, thank you so much.
You need to thank Professor Shantanu Das, sir. He is the person behind the summit. And I would love to have few words from sir, because he has been witnessing all the keynote speakers. And truly, this has been mind-boggling session so far, isn't it, sir?
Yeah, definitely, madam. So, he need not to thank. In fact, we should thank him that at this young age, he has picked up the notion that he has to do, being a good netizen, he should be a ethical hacker, not a black hat hacker. And how to defend the country from black hat hackers, because now this is the time where the war is going on data only. No nuclear war, nothing else. It's only data. You steal a data of entire country comes down crashing, rather than even corona. What corona is nothing, but these hackers can do anything. So recently, between the Chinese and Indians and Pakistan, we had been seeing lots, right? Indian hackers has done something to the Pakistan websites, and for a few minutes, and like this, Chinese were trying to infringe into the Indian data through Zoom, the app what we are using, Zoom app. There were the data centers in China, which Zoom has removed it. So like this, we should understand. The day one we started with our first webinar, it was by, if I am not wrong, Chintan Pathak, the cyber security attorney. We started with the first day with him, that cyber security. Then we got Colonel Indrajit Singh. And the third now, the cyber security is with Dipanshu Parasar at the age of 16. So no, the cyber security people should understand, either it can be 5 rupees or it can be 10 rupees. It can be anything. Not only that, even recently around a couple of months, I got that your Facebook is been this, that, and your all unwanted stuff will be sent to your close ones and you won't have a face and all. Straight away, I forwarded that to Chintan Pathak. He told me not to worry. He did something and sent it me back. And luckily after that, my Facebook is safe. So that's how we should understand that when we got such kind of mail, as you correctly told, emotionally we get disturbed and we get distracted. The moment we get distracted, we lose our coolness, and then we start beating around, and then we start pressing the button here and there, and we give off all our details as a result. So really at this young age, I salute you that you have made us learn how a data is so important, how we can conserve our data, how we can preserve our data, because everything now online and internet, everything is internet now. So how people can hack anything else at no point of time. So it's like mind reader. So same way internet reader, right? If I am not wrong, if a mind reader is there, without you being knowing, they will make you to do whatever they want. Same way a black hat hacker will do whatever without you being knowing what he is going on. Everything has been siphoned off. So really thank you, Dipanshu, and we'll be looking forward to you that tomorrow you meet us at 4:30 onwards, so that it will be our privilege to like Avirat, yourself, and tomorrow another one. I think I am very bad at remembering the name. So so please excuse me for that. Please do join. These young guys will be the torch bearers of our future generation. Thank you so much.
Really, thank you so much. I just keep showering your blessings to me. That's absolutely.
It's always there. It's always there. That's why we all are connected. Dr. Munish, Nancy Madam, and Mukesh ji, all are here to support you. So whatever possible from our end, we'll do it.
Great. We are with you, Dipanshu, and I will make sure that from my office, from Hover Robotics, you will get a letter of recommendation as well. That would be put towards your bright future, and Hover Robotics would be vouching for your wonderful future ahead.
Really, thank you so much, sir. That
I've already texted my office. You would soon be getting a letter of recommendation from.
This is such an incredible, moment, Dipanshu. I should tell you, getting letter of recommendation from who's and who's, and so this is all the power of your talent. All the blessings with you, all the wishes with you. Just go on and spread your wisdom throughout the globe. Make India proud.
Sure, ma'am. Really, thank you so much, sir. Really, thank you so much, ma'am.
So that's great, and we have another guest, Mr. Khalil Bauja from Spain. We had some technical errors, so guys, handle on. I am managing another session. I've squeezed in another session in this tiny device, so I'm managing one more session on this one. So I would request Dr. Shantanu Das and Dr. Nancy Juneja to please take care of our eminent guest, Mr. Khalil Bauja from Spain. Sir, if you can unmute yourself, we can very well see you on the video. Wow, wow, wow.
And,
so let's
Shantanu sir, Shantanu sir, I would request you to make us do spotlight to Mr. Khalil.
Okay,
madam, I'm making you co-host. If you can do that, because I am not.
I am doing it. I am doing it for sir. I'm doing it for Khalil Bauja, sir. There you go. Done.
Okay, thank you. You hear me now, that?
Yes, we can hear you very well, sir. Wow, wonderful. So let's hit it. Let's quickly introduce him and let's hear from him. I don't want all of us to do much of speaking now. We want Mr. Khalil to do maximum speaking.
Yes. So we welcome Khalil Bauja ji, who is what was in common optimizing. He's from Spain, consultant, and he is a 10th Planet Technologist Advisory Board member. And he is a 58-year-old consultant who helps overwhelmed SME owners stop chasing the latest technology buzzwords so that can focus 100% of their limited time. So without further delay, his entrepreneur experiences, especially his big business failures, shaped his true dialogue first approach using principles from design thinking, TOC, TQM, Gemba and systematics by John Gall. So I welcome you wholeheartedly, Khalil Bauja ji, that please go ahead with your expertise and mesmerize us. And I request all the participants to wait till Khalil Bauja ji's talk, then only will share you the second day feedback, which is mandatory. The moment you gather 3 feedback forms, you will be given with the international certificate. So over to Khalil Baujaji.
Okay, so thank you. So I don't know, we started the sessions a few hours ago, so I'm just to make a quick summary of what we covered in the first slides. So I was explaining, okay, these are the stories that happened to us, to me and Kumaran during the COVID lockdown. So cutting a long story short, we experienced some problems due to the lockdown. So customers didn't have access to their data. We have to move them to the cloud. Business interruptions, this famous business continuity was not achieved. It was too late. People could not pay their vendors, their employees. So that was really a big mess. But the biggest problem for us was that we felt so overwhelmed by the request of our client that we were about to have a nervous breakdown also. So we just tried to cope with that a little bit because there is too much stake in the story. What I did to cope with that stress is to talk with other people like me that have the same problems and see how we could help each other. So one of my friends in France told me about a movie. He told me what we are experiencing right now with the COVID-19 remind me a lot to a movie, to a movie series that had a lot of success in early 90, in November, October, and the movie is L'Effondrement. L'Effondrement is the collapse. That's a series of 8 episodes that just showcase what would happen if the society suddenly collapsed. So I'm seeing this movie while I'm at the same time helping my clients to solve their problem, to pay their funders, to move their old ERP online with some spreadsheet on Google Sheet, etc., etc. No idea how to do this for everybody at the same time. And at the same time, I'm looking at this series. So he told me, you don't watch that series alone, because if you watch that series alone in your emotional state as you are, you're going to break down for sure. So the inner child in me told me, if you tell me you don't watch it alone, then I watch it alone. That's how I work. You don't do this, then I do it. So I watched that series, and it was a game changer for me from maybe the rest of my life right now. So because of COVID, I saw that movie and it changed my life. So this is the description of how a society can collapse in a matter of days and weeks. And I made some research and I saw that that series is based on that book. That book is How Everything Can Collapse. And it's written by Pablo Servigne. He's a scientific. He is a PhD in biology and specialist in insect, ants, etc. So he decided a few years ago to just dedicate his time to study how systems can collapse. So he came with this new term, which is collapsology, the science of collapse. And when you read this and when you hear his interviews on YouTube, obviously, like everybody, you go there and you search, you start being overwhelmed by what could happen in the next years. I mean years, I don't mean 20 years, I don't mean 30 years, I mean 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. So when I just started researching on that collapse subject, I'm starting to have kind of relief. To the contrary of what most of people experience when they talk about collapse, they get anxious. I personally get relief because I'm a system guy. So I study systems. So when someone came up with an explanation of where we are now and why it can collapse, I feel relief. And he explained his theory based on the World Tree experiment that has been made by the Club of Rome. So all this movie, L'Effondrement, and then the book, How Everything Can Collapse, can be traced back to the simulation made by the Club of Rome in 1972. In 1972, Donella, Dennis Meadows, and Randers made a simulation of how the world could be in about 50, 100 years. They simulated growth population, the food, non-renewable energy, etc., resources. So basically, they just created the first simulation of how our world, Earth, is working, and also our system of production. What is mind-blowing is that in 2004 and in 2012, when other scientists took the real data were matching with the forecasting, which for me, when I need to forecast for minimum stock in different warehouses, I say, that's pretty good, getting that level of accuracy for a whole system like Earth for the next 40 years. That's beautiful. The world is going to collapse. There is no way we can escape of this. So suddenly, fixing the problem of my client of invoicing, moving the things to the cloud, take another dimension. It's more relative. It's big, if it's a big problem or not. The big problem is this might collapse. Then another guy, when researching, called Arthur Kailash, found that there are 4 people can manage those situations. You can have 4 different views of what can happen. Even if we give you the data, you might not believe them, or you might just tweak them to your own story, internal story. The 4 different people are the illimitless people who, even if when they see those data, they will think that resources are limited, so there will be no collapse. These are the least one today. 30 years ago, that was the majority. Today, there are very few of them. Let's call them negationists or illimitless people, thinking that resources are illimited and our system can use them illimitlessly. The second one are the sustainabilists. Sustainabilists are people who think that we can build a system, we can continue consuming, we can continue growing, and we can, in a way or another, manage that growth, and that the biocapacity limit is still not reached, and we will reach it maybe one day, but we still have time. So those people are the majority of as of today. So most of them, it's what we call green sustainability businesses, etc., etc. The third one is nearly the same, except that those people already admit that we have crossed our biocapacity limit. So those people already say, I do agree that we have less fish than before. I do agree that we have less phosphate than before. I do agree that we have less raw material than before. I do agree that we have reached peak oil. However, I think that technology can mitigate that gap and we can reduce the growth. These people would be the mitigator, and they will reduce the growth just to control the resources. Lastly, there is the fourth one. The fourth group is the collapsologists. Collapsologists just say, there is no way we can escape to this. It's too late. We should have taken the right action in 72, as the Club of Rome said, and not only one, but all of them. It's too late. Systems are do not work like this. They need time to feedback. The permafrost will not freeze again in 2 hours, or in 2 months, or in 2 years. That's too complicated. There is no escape. but assuming that the world is going to collapse in 3, 5, or 10 years. So we need to adapt to that new collapse. So I'm looking at those videos and this new information that comes to my mind at the same time as I'm working with other clients to trying to help them sell shoes, bags, getting the money, transactions, etc., etc. So that was for me a kind of relief because I was finding at least an explanation of what was happening during the COVID-19. So these 4 different people who see the same data, I don't think that they are 4 different people. I think that we are those 4 people in different moments. So sometimes when I get very depressed, I say, that's the collapse, nothing can be made. Sometimes I get super happy, I say, we will gonna make it, technology will help us, etc., etc. So these 4 opinion on the same data is coexisting with us today. However, there is one which is dominant for each one of us. For me, I have already chosen my team. My team is number 4. There will be a collapse in 2, 3, 5, or 10 years, but no more. Society will collapse, at least the way we know it. Resources are too scarce to be managed. I don't know how we are going to get electricity, fuels. That's too huge to change. You can try, but my team, which is number 4, is we are going to face and to prepare us for the collapse. Now, this is one part of the equation. You know, or either you believe or not, this is going to collapse. The thing that I discovered while I was researching for our company is that one thing is that it is going to collapse, and then the other is, what's the story that we need? 65% of French, this is in French, are ready to cope with the collapse. 65% already firmly believe that before 2030, there will be a collapse, there will be no electricity and no water and no transport. The collapse is defined as no how do you call it, minimum, no water, no electricity is serviced by a governmental body. That's the collapse. And it's not in one country, it's all the country. It's one country collapse, that's not the collapse. The collapse is each country will not be able to ask for help to other countries. That's what is defined by the collapse. And by the way, these are not just 4, 5, 6 scientists that just thinking like this. There we have the Prime Minister of France, who in a small interview is describing that process. There is the Minister of Environmental, Cochet, who is advocating for this and explaining it deeply and correctly. So the problem is not only that it's going to collapse, but the idea that we have when it is going to collapse is that it will be like Mad Max. So everyone will try to kill the other part to get some water, some food. So this is the imaginary that we have when we talk about the collapse. And this is what is bringing anxiety. The collapse is already a big part, but the biggest part is what is the imaginary that we have today regarding the future. And that's very terrible because now the only imaginary that we have when the society will collapse is Mad Max, Underworld, zombie movies, etc., etc. So the stronger will get everything. So I made some research and I found that beautiful book by Rebecca Solnit, which is a Paradise Built in Hell. So Rebecca Solnit studied what happened when there is big events and big collapse. So she didn't see the Mad Max movie. She saw that when there is big events like this, people are not selfish. people help other people. That's what happened. She studied what happened in Katrina, in the 9/11, in Halifax in 1917, and she collected all the testimonial of those people, and she saw that what happened when there is a big event like this, people join together and work for a better future, for a moment. When that better future is built, then what happens is that an institution come and capitalize on this and continue the society. That's for me was the breakthrough of what I was living with the COVID-19. I was not understanding why we were not ready for the this new digital transformation. So in the last 5 years, we've been working with company doing digital transformation. So really what I was starting understanding that all those small problems that we had with those companies was not isolated. The problem is that we were reading the wrong script. So I made some Google research, and this is the trend that you will see if you type digital transformation. So in our work, in our daily work, what we do is that we prepare company for the digital so-called transformation. This is the trend for the five last year. So in 5 years, we didn't manage to do anything. I think our results today are very bad. We knew that digital transformation was there. The number was there. All the KPI was there. We should have been ready for this. I don't mean we should be ready for the collapse. I'm just talking about now the digital problem that we have right now. So one part of the problem that we are not ready now for this new digital transformation, and why the digital transformation has failed big, leaving some hospital without services, it's because we didn't have the right script. We didn't tell the real story. This is what we think we should change. It's not a digital transformation. It was a digital emergency. So there is just these two words after reading about the collapse and after viewing those movies, and I thought that it's really important that we understand what is the story that we are working on. This is what I call right now the digital emergency and the digital transformation trap. The digital transformation time is up. There is no way. Let's just forget about this. This is really digital emergency right now. I'm not talking about the collapse that we need to prepare, and we will see how we can use this to prepare also for the other collapse. But just now, shifting our story and our action from digital transformation to digital emergency, then we can move. The difference first is in digital transformation, you will sit and talk. In digital emergency, you work. You build a spreadsheet and you put your inventory by hand there. You don't try to find out how you will do this. It's more a makerspace time than a thinking tank or conference time. And you have no choice but doing it. Digital transformation, you can decide if you start today or tomorrow. There is no way. You can start tomorrow. In the digital emergency, you need to do it today because you need to pay your employee and you don't have the server. You don't know how many you need to pay that vendor. I'm just talking about that specific e-commerce case. Number 4, we have time to decide where to go in digital transformation. I think I'm going to build a website so I can sell things directly to consumer. No, now you need, the first thing is to fix the things that are broken. Don't think about what you're going to do later. And we are right into it now. From digital transformation, you have you have point A and you have point B. We will go there. No, now it hurts. Digital emergency hurts. You cry. Some of my clients were crying, calling me. They were crying. Digital transformation, it's move. It's gradual. Today I do this, today I do the other thing. That's the story we are saying. Number 7, some will make it. Sadly, digital emergency just taught me in the last few weeks that already some companies are left out of this. Some already stopped and some are on the way out. They're going to stop in a few weeks, in a few months. They couldn't resist that wave. In digital transformation, the story sold is most of you will make it. Number 8, there is not enough resources. There is not enough people to do that change right now. In digital transformation, there is time to do it. You can plan 2 people now, 10 people tomorrow, next company after, you have time. Number 9, you can't do it alone. You need a community. You cannot just work with me. You need to work with other people. You can do it alone with some help. It was digital transformation. We were helping other companies, isolated. Now we take a group of companies and they work together and we guide them. But we need a group of companies. And you build for the actual story, which is, it's time, it's too late. Sorry. So this is a difference with digital emergency and digital transformation. We came with that term after experiencing this conversation with the clients. Now that we have that framework, we used it to see now what do we do with this? Let's forget about the whole collapse. Let's see how this can help our client next week, next month, 3 months, 6 months. So what's next? So in 2005, I came to Chennai for the first time and I met Kumaran. And then he talked about Krishnamurti. Now I'm going to explain you how we have used the digital transformation and digital emergency concepts and how we have applied it to our company to help our client today. And this started with Krishnamurti. So when Kumaran introduced me to Krishnamurti, Krishnamurti became for me the source where I go when I need something. Needless to say that I saw all his interviews on YouTube, and listening to Krishnamurti give you that sense of, at least to me, peace and step back from the situation. But from the videos from Krishnamurti that I have seen, there is a series of videos which is having with David Bohm, the Nobel scientist. He's a quantum physicist, and he made countless interviews with Krishnamurti. So in that picture, you will see David Bohm talking to Krishnamurti, interviewing him. That very specific conversation and beginning of that video, especially the first 2 minutes, is the one that I go back every time I need something. So what I learned from Krishnamurti and David Bohm, here you have someone who is the scientist and he's there with the quantum physics theories, etc. And then you have the spiritual leader, although he doesn't want to be called a spiritual leader or whatever. And that conversation led to some findings. And I told to Kumaran, why don't we just do something similar? Why don't we just talk with business owners who had problems during the COVID without offering a solution, just asking what are they experiencing? What did they experience during that COVID? So we met online, many small SME owners and trying to understand what they were experiencing. Now that we had a framework with which we call the digital emergency, we were able to put their conversation into that framework. And the first thing that we discovered is that it's not the situation itself that is very overwhelming for them, but the uncertainty. The uncertainty. They don't know. They don't know what is happening. And by the way, at the beginning of the talk, this is at the first part, I was talking about 2 other companies that were calling me, 2 of my clients, because they had problem and they need to move everything, etc. So these 2 companies are making 20-25% more revenue than last year. So compared to the other, they are nearly doubling. Even if they do more revenue today, those companies and those business owners are still overwhelmed. So they are still in the dark. So what we found is that they needed some kind of information, and this is generally a kind of dashboard that they have for their companies. So we decided to tackle the dashboard and putting it in the digital emergency framework. So we asked them, what is the confusion of this dashboard? Well, first, you will see too many different graphs, too many information, so we don't know what is happening. So conversation after conversation, I found out that the same tool was used for 2 different problems. One I call the control, and one is the improvement. So the same dashboard was used to control and the other to improve. Let's see the 2 differences. Where your mind is in control state, you have limits. When you want to improve, you go to a defined target. So your dashboard should be different. Each dashboard should be tailor-made for one of these objectives. Either you control, either you improve. When you control, you keep it in limits. The lifespan of a KPI is forever. You're going to control those things forever. You need to know if the electricity is there even in 10 years. Frequency, you will do it or real time, hourly, daily, or weekly, and you may have hundreds of KPI, hundreds. And you need to review when it's out of limit, not every 5 minutes. On the other side, you improve an objective, you kill it when the target is reached. If you want to reach $250,000 per month, once you reach that, you kill it and you put it in control. The frequency will be maybe monthly, quarterly, annually. You might have 3-7 goals. The review is fixed. So now we had a small tool that could help the business owners to focus on the digital emergency using only the control part. You don't need to improve right now. Now you need to know what is happening. That's the first thing you need to know right now. Don't try to put another system in place. What is working right now? You need to know. So if we develop a tool for them so they can help, they can see what is happening right now and what is in limit and what not, then we could help them. That's what we have built, a very small prototype for a mobile. So you have different KPI and you only have the KPI that are out of control. Once it's out of control, it will pop up on top. If not, it will stay under. So we just surface things that are not working. This is what you need in a control state. You are there controlling. And this is the systemic approach. So you have a context that will send some signal to the control and decision AI assistant. That's what we have done. And then you have some business that you think you are unique, but you're not that unique, no? Some decisions rule, and then you take some decisions that once more are getting feedback on your business. The chart that we only use one type of chart, which is the XMR chart that we took from the factories for every factory system, no? So you don't take, you don't overreact on some problems. So that's what we have been able to do and to develop in a matter of weeks after having a kind of deep thinking about what is really happening right now with our clients and their businesses. What is the first big bug that we needed to solve, which is the story. We are not in emergency. We are not, sorry, in a digital transformation. We are in a digital emergency. But from there, we can work and start finding some solution for them. And we can get a little more of relief. Needless to say that as 10th Planet is open source company, we do everything with open source. That would be the part of another topic. Open source is the way to go. There is no other way that you can solve those problems. We are now entering in a new era where knowledge is, let's call the product, and knowledge cannot be sold. So if you have a car, you sell it and you get the money and the other part get the car. Knowledge is not the same. You cannot sell your knowledge. You can share it. Once you sell it, you still have it. So you don't sell it. You can share it. The more knowledge you share, the more knowledge you get. So that's the big difference, I think, now in the new era we are entering. Sharing is the key to get more knowledge. So what can you do right now? Anyone, anywhere should start talking with people around them. What you have seen right now, that digital agent is the byproduct of talking and rebuilding new communities. Why I said, I asked Kumaran to start like this, it's because what we do today, it's what we build for tomorrow. Tomorrow, should that collapse happen, we need communities. We will not be able to go through this alone. We need to quickly build communities. That product that we have developed is a byproduct of the community building with those small entrepreneurs. But the focus is, let's go back to the communities and build them with real people. That's the only thing I wanted to share with you. And that's it. Now, up to you.
Incredible, sir. It has been really great experience hearing you. Mr. Khalil, all the way from Spain. So very rightly said, digital transformation is here. So you have summed it very well, sir. And this is our time to move from, A to B. And it all depends upon all of us, how well we take good decisions and move further. You have definitely set the memento and concluded the day 2 on a high note, sir. It's incredible, and we'll, seek your support always. And you are welcome once we want to host you also, probably in India soon, once the things are normal. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share.
Indeed, sir. Indeed. And now over to Shantanu, sir, for the closing note of the day and thanking sir for the incredible day here.
Thank you, Sir Khalil Baujaji, for your patience and that tenacity that though your technical talk was been hindered, but you took time out of your busy schedule that even at 5 o'clock you came and then you gave that talk. That's how it's so incredible. We are really thank you wholeheartedly. We thank you for your kind consideration that you don't want to miss to give that knowledge to the young minds. Wholeheartedly on behalf of Seshasdripuram First Grade College, wholeheartedly from Seshasdripuram Educational Trust, a 90-year-old organization, North Bangalore Science Forum, MentorX Global, Hover Robotics, Hoverbots India, and Indian Institute of Science Alumni Association, Karnataka Science and Technology Academy, and Research Foundation of India, New Delhi. We wholeheartedly thank you for your gracious talk and knowledgeable inputs to our young minds. So request you to see you tomorrow at around 4:30 to 5 o'clock, so that we'll be honored that your presence will add more lights to our program. Thank you, sir. And thank you, Dr. Nancy Madden. And in fact, we thought of speaking about RevUp, but I felt that we should speak during the validatory function, where all the eminent dignitaries will be there, so that it becomes more important. Because I was going through the RevUp all details, and I was in fact thinking that from morning to speak about that, because that is also one of the entity which is where we got connected with. So really, madam, I will be loving, with your permission, that tomorrow at validatory function, I will introduce what RevUp is and how you had been solidarity of the women you are spreading across.
It's lovely to hear this from you, sir. It's indeed a pleasure, and it will be rather a proud moment for all the RevUp fraternity students and the management, because nothing is small and big, as I always believe. We started with formative years and over to the youth. We are mentoring it all over. And thanks to people like you who've been supporting us in this endeavor. Thank you so much.
Because I still remember the Padman of India. I could meet him around 3-4 years back. Then that too during the first Kalam conclave in Lucknow, and from that time I had been jointly with them, and he has also told he will help us to establish that his whatever the venture here, and to help the young women or young girls the healthcare. So that's how we should understand that the solidarity woman what you are leading so rightly, RevUp, then with his so that is Shri Industries, if you will be knowing very well. Shri Industries.
Definitely, sir. I look forward, sir. And if you know, the literal meaning of RevUp is, increasing the speed of the engine. So like we need to increase the speed of machinery, we need to increase the, our own pace, human capability. That is what we all are doing.
Definitely.
So it has been really incredible. Day 1 and 2, I believe Dr. Jindal has just joined us.
Yeah, he is peeping
I joined, I heard something about the speed. So I really wanted to let everyone know that Dr. Nancy Juneja is already moving with a quantum leap. The speed word doesn't get applicable on Dr. Nancy Juneja. She's leading with quantum leap is the right word for her. So because she's the inspiration, and for not only me, she's my inspiration. I idolize her in the real world, and she's the inspiration for many, as well as she's an institute in herself. If you ever get a chance to meet with the kids whom she has nurtured from past 11 years, who are now grown as teenagers, you have already seen one, Dipanshu today, an example. So I can bring on kids of the age of 5 years or to the age of 18 years. You would be mesmerized. Even this 5-year-old kid of hers can beat me when it comes to intellect and all. So so don't talk about the speed in term when it comes to Dr. Nancy Juneja. Talk about the quantum leaps, that to multifold, right? What is that pi? Pi has an infinite value, right?
Yes.
I feel you've raised the bar, and
that pi has derived its value from Dr. Nancy.
There's enough expectations on my shoulders now. I feel so responsible all of a sudden. Though I'm doing it since years, but with you all people, definitely the bar is high.
And Dr. Shantanu and Mr. Khalil Bauja and the audience, did you see her smartness? She's nicely dressed, sitting on a sofa, and I'm taking one session here and looking here, and look, third session here. What is she doing to me? She's putting me to work, and she's enjoying at the comfort of her sofa, She's really smart. We need to learn a lot from her.
Yes.
Kudos to you, Dr. Nancy. We are blessed that you are around, and it's your vision that you're guiding us. And I am blessed that I'm able to fulfill that vision across the world. And then we have wonderful people like Dr. Shantanu Das. We're together, and we have our Center of Excellence with him at Seshasdripuram First Grade College. And then wonderful, these people like Mr. Khalil Bauza from Spain, who has joined hands with us, and he has shared his intellect and the digital emergencies. Who can think about such a wonderful topic? he has shared today. And it is the wonderful people like this that we are growing. So with my folded hands, I really want to say thanks to Mr. Khalil Bauja as well. And we are looking forward to much more with you, sir. Much more is coming. Stay tuned with us. Stay connected with us. We are lining up many more things. So on that note, how are we concluding the day, Dr. Shantanu Das?
So you have to tell, because you are peeping through all the gadgets and you are becoming a robot. So I want you to peep in through and you have to conclude today.
It's been right now, it's been 67 hours in a row. I'm awake. I haven't slept, working on 3 devices simultaneously in 3 sessions. And it's caused, I'm blessed with you, Dr. Shantanu Das. Your energies I'm borrowing, and Dr. Nancy's energies I'm borrowing. I'm blessed with all of you. So guys, today we have a wonderful, wonderful lineup. Right from, you know, Mr. Khalil Bauja sitting right here in front of us, to Maggie Weber from Australia, Pon Mani Venan GB from Larsen and Tupro, Manoj Kumar in the morning we had from biotechnology, and then what else? Our very own Dr. Nancy Juneja talking about life skills, technologies, and whatnot, sharing the real life with us. That is the beauty, and we have Professor Dilip today. So today we are concluding second day on a very, very high note, even on a higher note on the first day, because all the energy is pouring in. Now we're looking forward to the third day, the final day. Finals are always very exciting and very curious, you know. Finals, everyone look forward. When earlier there are, you know, there are participating matches, then there are quarterfinals, semi-finals, and finales. Tomorrow is the final day, and it's going to be even bigger and better. We have huge lineup of speakers tomorrow, and nonetheless, tomorrow you don't even know who all are coming. If you want me to speak about tomorrow, we are going to be joined by Mr. Navneet Goyal from Silicon Valley, USA. Mr. Gulshan, he is the Director General of International Chamber for Services and Industry. Mr. Venkata Raman Chakrapani from India. Mr. Harmeet Singh, he is the project head from Robanova. And Ms. Dr. Gayatri from Mauritius, and she's heading education and technology in Nigeria as well. And Mr. M.V. Rangacharya Radu and Miss Palaksani, and again another child prodigy from Dr. Nancy Juneja, Mr. Samir Garg from Billionaires, and Miss Urvi Agarwal, another child prodigy of Dr. Nancy Juneja. So tomorrow it's going to be super, super, super awesome. And then we have our closing ceremony and the honoring ceremony and the valedictory session. And yes, a very big announcement. The Center of Excellence tomorrow getting declared officially with Dr. Nancy Juneja and Dr. Shantanu Das, and I would be witnessing that closing ceremony in front of with these two visionaries coming together. So I'm blessed. So all the audience, I would still say, still keep your laptops on, keep the batteries charged off your laptops, and eat well so you yourself keep charged. Tomorrow we have a long day. We are starting tomorrow 10:30 in the morning, and we will be concluding close to 7. Long day, tons of knowledge, tons of wonderful people across the globe. And you don't know what surprises are coming tomorrow your way from MentorX, from Rev Up Life Skills, from Hover Robotics, and 90 years of legacy by Seshasdripuram Group. So stay tuned. Your host, your dost, always here for you. And if you need any help, just buzz me. I'm 24/7 available. These two guys, these two visionaries are smiling at me that this guy keeps on talking, because I have to keep you tuned, keep you energetic, you know. So stay tuned with me, and I'm hopeful of seeing all of you, and bring your friends along, bring your families along, bring your people along. This knowledge we are distributing as of now for free, and soon Mr. Khalil Bauja is going to charge you 50,000 rupees per hour. He might be, next time he might turn up saying, oh, I'm going to charge you 1,000 euros. So today he was free for us. So gain the maximum knowledge, you know. So be with us tomorrow, and let's hit it. Over to you, Dr. Nancy and Dr. Shantanu Das. Namaste from Dr. Munish Chandra.
Through for the day. Over to Shantanu sir.
Thank you. So first day we saw Munish. Second day we saw Dr. Nancy. So third day we'll be seeing both. So you can see the double the energy, MentorX and RevUp. You think of how it is going to. So it will be, you know, like we'll be by lander Vikram. We have to land on Mars tomorrow. So really, I would like to enjoy that. Speed will be, you know, going high. We're reaching the higher scales. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm interrupting you. You talked about Mars. I wanted to let you know there is a startup that is coming up with an elevator from Earth to Moon. And the good news is Dr. Nancy Juneja has already bought an office space on Moon, right? You know, so you would soon, it is soon possible that next time we Seshasdripuram and MentorX having their Center of Excellence at Moon, and we are visiting soon to the Moon as well. So congratulations, Dr. Nancy, for that as well.
Thank you. So with this positive note, we conclude for the day 2. And I thank all the speakers, all the participants, all the collaborators and all the associates. And we wish that tomorrow at 11 o'clock, we start with the day 3 for the third international conference. And lots more going to get unfolded tomorrow. Thank you, one and all. God bless you. Stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.